Live from the Busch Light Studios.
You're causing a major disturbance on my time.
If I'm here and you're here, doesn't that make it our time?
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station. Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
There's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there ain't but one Razorback. Number one.
This is The Morning Rush.
Borderline erotic.
With Ty Richardson.
Sunshine. That's cool. I can dig it.
And Tommy Kraft.
Do I look happy?
What's wrong?
Lloyd!
The Morning Rush starts right now.
The comparison tour starts on Saturday. And that comparison, Sam Pittman and a guy that you probably were close to hiring in Mike Leach. Another guy you might have hired is Lane Kiffin, who you'll be playing in about 2.5 weeks. There's a couple of these coaches that you at least reached out to. Some of the conversations were escalated to the point that you thought that they were going to be your next head coach. Now, coaching hiring process never go how many people think they do. There's a lot of stuff that goes under the radar. There's only a handful of people that know. Hunter Yurchek kept it very close to the vest. It was him, John Fagg, and maybe one other person. Or maybe it was just them two, so it was very hard to pull out information. But when it comes to this conversation, it seems like Leach was at least asked, approached, interviewed when it comes to the Arkansas job. And so the comparison, again, I'm referring to is Sam Pittman, who you ended up hiring, and Mike Leach. Does it, if you lose on Saturday night to the Pirate, does that mean it invalidates your hiring of Sam Pittman? No. But if you beat him, it absolutely validates your hiring. Right, Tommy? It's a complete double standard. I said it halfway, firmly planted in cheek this morning.
Yeah.
We'll start there this morning here on the Morning Rush. 877-377-6963, the number to call or text in. We are always streaming live on hitthatline.com. You can find our video stream, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If you have a smart speaker, just say play ESPN Arkansas. We are also on the TuneIn app as well. Make sure you are subscribed to the Hit That Line podcast network. Just search Hit That Line, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Anchor, Stitcher, wherever you listen to podcasts, and make sure you are following.
Are all those real, or did you just make some of those up?
I added this.
Are all of those real?
One of the things when I got there, being the millennial I am, when I got here, is I made sure that we were on every single podcast platform I could find.
I'm not sure all of those actually exist. I think you just made some of those up to make it sound like we're more involved than we are.
Bigger than we are. Yeah. So that could be the case. But you can find all of our stuff there. We got at least 5 podcasts going right now. Make sure you're subscribed to all of those. And then also make sure you're following our social media accounts at Hit That Line.
Hang on, 5? We got 5? Does this mean I have more work to do?
You don't have any work to do.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
As far as the podcasting goes, that's on my end. That's
all right, good. So no more work for me?
Part of the gig. Yeah, no
all right,
more
carry
work
on.
for you. So that's part of the gig as far as I'm concerned. So and it's actually 6 if you include Hog Reaction. Those 6 are as following: the Bud Light Seltzer Morning Rush podcast, the Halftime Pod presented by Jeff's Clubhouse, Ruskin and Zach, Primetime Preps, which is our new high school weekly podcast, Fantasy Football Sunday, and then we have Hog Reaction, which is following the Arkansas Razorback football game. So 6 right now.
You told me the other day we had, over 100,000 listens
last month
in September?
Mm-hmm. Over 100,000 listens in the month of September last month, and that's only going to escalate and grow as we continue to add to our podcast network.
So it's a good thing I appear on these podcasts, and clearly.
That's the reasoning behind our numbers being through the roof. So
exactly.
We appreciate everyone listening this morning. And part of those podcasts are interviews with guests, and we'll have 2 on this morning as typical. Tom Murphy at 7:20, Richard Davenport on a Recruiting Thursday here at 8:05, and it's brought to you by Breeden RV. So these podcasts, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, make sure you give us a good review, because we bust our tails to put them together, and I feel like it's some pretty good content. And speaking of good content, I think you're going to get some on Saturday night when 6:30 happens and you get to see the Mississippi State Bulldogs take on the Arkansas Razorbacks. I don't anticipate this game being lopsided. I anticipate it being within a touchdown or 10 points. Now, I'm probably going to go with Mississippi State, maybe 2 touchdowns, but it's going to be a very fun ball game for a number of reasons, especially because, as I mentioned, Mike Leach was one of the guys that you were considering for the hire.
Yeah, and I think it's just going to be a fun ball game because if you like passing and you like vertical offense, this should be your kind of game. I mean, now Mississippi State, when you see all those passing attempts, 60 a week ago, this kind of stood out to me. Just I hadn't thought about this because it doesn't really mean anything, but Felipe Franks attempted 36 passes last week. KJ Costello completed 36 passes last week. That number doesn't really mean anything, but it just tells you the differences in the styles, at least through one game. So it will be an interesting survey or interesting watch to just survey the game and watch it to see what Arkansas potentially does with their offense to slow down Mississippi State's offense by keeping the ball away. That certainly would be at the front of my mind if I was trying to put this game plan together.
Kendall Briles knows what happened in week 1 was unacceptable. He's not a guy that's going to mail it in. He knows he's got to come ready to work this week and has probably busted his keister to get that done because on the other side of the football, you're facing the number 1 passing team in the country. That is what, in terms of yardage. Now, they've only played 1 football game, and they were fantastic against LSU. But if you look at the statistics right now, they are averaging the most passing yards per game. And the Arkansas offense, it looked putrid, guys. Like, let's lay it out like it is. And I have said multiple times leading up to this program, leading up to this season, as much success as Kendall Briles has had, he has yet to do in the SEC. That being said, that doesn't mean he can't have success in this conference, but there is going to be a waiting period. He's not just going to instantly have it. I know that Mike Leach, last time he was here was, 98? Kentucky. I was actually watching that game. Last time that he competed in a SEC venue, I believe, was not maybe a day at Texas Tech.
He was Hal Mummy's offensive coordinator with the Kentucky Wildcats.
Arkansas was down 3 touchdowns in that game, and they came back and won. Pretty impressive win.
But, I mean, yes, that's SEC experience. Yes, it's 22 years ago, but the league is the game, first of all, is much different. The league is vastly different than it was then.
And we had a question, Tommy, earlier this week, and I researched this. It was like, does Mike Leach have success after ranked wins? And I looked it up, and I double-checked, so I hope this statistic is correct. I found that Mike Leach is 12-4 following a ranked win. I don't know if there's a statistic in their media guide. But
let me tell you, I've got their media notes here. I printed off like the first 50. They generally don't print stats that don't make your coach look good in their notes. So if you're looking for a stat that would say he was 4-12 or his record was not delightful, you're probably not going to find it in the school's media notes.
Yeah, I went on College Football Reference and looked at every Texas Tech, every Washington State, season by season, would look up the ranked team, see if they followed a win or loss, if they won that football game. I calculated it was 12-4, so he's had success following ranked wins. You hope that's not the case on Friday night. And there is some pressure on Sam Pittman to win this football game. Now, is it the pressure that he's going to all of a sudden be on the hot seat after a loss? No, of course not. But, I mean, he knows it. Like, coaches know through the coaching world that what guys were considered for the job. The rumor or the substantiated evidence has gone back to him that Mike Leach was one of the guys that interviewed for the job.
No, I mean, the coaches know a lot more than we do. Yeah. They're in that world. They're in that circle. Their agents are in those circles. So it didn't rumor. They know what the facts are.
And I've mentioned this several times for Sam Pittman. We'll close on this. Sam Pittman has had a tremendous offseason, whether it's really connecting with the players, whether it's hiring great assistant coaches, not just Kendall Briles, not just Barry Odom, Scott Found, Derek LeBron, Brad Davis, and others. And he's also had a good track record of recruiting thus far. But you need to start seeing some of that payoff in the field. You hope that you can get one win on Mississippi State against the Bulldogs on Saturday night. It is a Recruiting Thursday, and it's brought to you by Breeden RV this morning. Last month, they had a great success with the blowout sale. Now they need more trailers. They need more RVs, and you need to come in and give one to them if you're not using anymore. Some of you haven't had a chance to use your RV or trailer lately. Well, Breeden RV is taking it. If you don't want to sell it to them, you can consign it for it. They can consign it for you as well. Plus, they have the newest models like Thor, Forest River, Coachman, and so many more. And you only have one more opportunity to take advantage of the camping. Y'all, the camping weather has just started. Have you felt outside lately?
Oh, it's great.
The weather is fantastic. So head over to Breeden RV between Van Buren and Alma on Alma Highway. Breeden RV, where adventures begin. Start living your best life today.
This is Recruiting Thursday on the Morning Rush, brought to you by Breeden RV, where your adventures begin.
Yes, sir!
If you have experience transporting frozen and refrigerated goods and want to be part of a trucking family with insurance and be home every week, you need to contact Brent Higgins Trucking. Since 1997, Brent Higgins Trucking in Mulberry has been proudly delivering to and from various areas of the United States, including but not limited to Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Brent Higgins Trucking, where you're a name, not a number. Contact them at 479-997-2366 or at BrentHigginsTrucking.com.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
When you want a beer, you go to a bar. When you want top shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars in an atmosphere befitting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items, including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites. Dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
Did you know that you can get your car serviced or repaired without ever leaving your house? All you have to do is call Jody's Auto Service Center at 479-649-3399. Jody's will pick up your vehicle, service or repair it for you, and return it fully disinfected to your driveway. Pickup and delivery is free for jobs $75 or more. Jobs less than $75 can be picked up and returned for a $10 fee. Let Jody's Auto Service Centers handle all your service and vehicle repair needs. Call 479-649-3399. Jody's Auto Service Center.
Have you had someone back out of a contract and you don't know what to do? Or maybe you have a problem with your boss. It may be time to sit down with a lawyer and discuss your options. The attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partners are ready to give advice on your next step. Kevin Hickey Law Partners are experienced in all types of lawsuits. If you have a dispute that may involve going to court, don't just hire any lawyer. Contact Kevin Hickey Law Partners. Give them a call at 479-434-2014 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out online at kevinhickeylaw.com.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
The best TV experience in the nation is available locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Dish has the Hopper 3, the most advanced DVR, and delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recording anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now, WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details, or visit us online at shopwownow.com. Get the Hopper 3 today by calling WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 or online at shopwownow.com.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device. World of Wireless has moved just a few miles east, next to Frank Rowe Furniture in Barling.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Why go north when when you can get the best deal on a new GMC or Buick here locally at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. There is no reason to drive more than an hour to buy your next vehicle. Harry Robinson has the same big rebates and discounts promised at other dealers, and Harry always gives you more for your trade. So when it comes time for your next vehicle, don't go north. Come see why Harry Robinson is the fastest growing Buick GMC dealer in the region. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
You won't be able to contain these Razorback fans. Here they come out. Here they come. Arkansas wins in a tremendous upset over number 2 ranked Oklahoma, 31-6.
Follow the show on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine.
Got a couple texts in here that we'll get to referring to our last conversation when the comparison tour starts Saturday night. Arkansas, Mississippi State, Sam Pittman, Mike Leach. What's going to be the outcome of that game? How's that going to look from a perception from an Arkansas fan on how that game transpires? That's coming up here on the Morning Rush. Before we do that, I want to tell you about our good friends at River City Bistro. My goodness, we were talking about the Caprice last night, Tommy.
Yeah, the great place to go and just have something unique that you're not going to find anywhere else. You're talking about our good friends over there. Their names are Bruce and Michelle Spinas. They own River City Bistro, locally owned restaurant in the River Valley. Great food. I mean, the food is the star of the show there, as it should be in any wonderful restaurant you go to. But my goodness, you cannot find any place else that serves up the quality of sandwiches. And it starts with the fact that they house roast and take care of all the meats in-house, so you know that the corned beef's going to be great on the Reuben. You know that the turkey house roasted, the ham house roasted on any of their club sandwiches or anything else, or on their salads like the River City Cobb, are going to be top quality and great. One of Phil Elson's favorite things is the turkey Devonshire. He loves eating it because it's a taste of home for him. It's familiarity. It's a Pittsburgh delicacy. Slow-roasted turkey, piled high, then they put it on top of sliced toast, then they top it with bacon and smother it in rich, creamy cheese sauce, and then they bake it until it's bubbly hot, and it is awesome. It's a sandwich you must eat with a fork, and it is outstanding. Try their brunch on the weekends. It's just really one of our favorite places to go for lunch or dinner. It's at River City Bistro. Now, they're open through the week, lunch all the way through dinner at 8 o'clock. On the weekends, they have brunch beginning at 10 a.m. They're open till 8 o'clock Saturday night, and they stay there till 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoons. Again, River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
This text comes from JT in Laurel, Mississippi. If Felipe Franks plays bad on Saturday night, does KJ Jefferson get a chance and an opportunity?
I don't know why he wouldn't. I mean, if things aren't going well, and we're going to find out how quick is the hook for Sam Pittman and Kendall Briles in that type of situation. You hope you don't find out, right? You just hope he plays well, and nothing with Jefferson. You just hope that your starting quarterback plays well enough. That's not even a conversation following the game.
I think what you and I agreed with in the offseason is we didn't care if it was Felipe. We didn't care if it was Malik. We didn't care if it was KJ. We didn't care if it was Jack, John Steven, whatever. You just wanted a quarterback that started the season and ended the season.
Just want a winner.
Yeah, and that's what it boils down to. So that's kind of our opinion on that, JT. I think he's going to have a lot more success because Mississippi State, while they get to the quarterback, 7 sacks this past game against LSU, I think that Arkansas is going to find some running success, which will lead to passing success for Felipe Franks. Lance from Fort Still texted in. He says that this is going to look like a backyard football game. Everyone's running a route. Looks like the D-line is counting to 10 Mississippi before rushing. And in fact, here's what's going to happen, Lance. You're not going to have time to get to the quarterback because KJ is going to get the ball, and I'm referring to KJ Costello. Costello's going to get the ball out so fast. I mean, that's what he did last game, and that's what you're going to see. You talked about a lot. They have what's called a pop pass, where you just whether it's a screen, whether it's a quick pitch to running back or whatever.
I call it extended handoff.
Yeah, it's going to be very quick, very snappy, blah, blah, blah. You got to go. That's where you're going to see. They're not necessarily going to – what's interesting about Mike Leach, they're not necessarily going to go a million miles an hour in terms of the huddle and whatnot, but you are going to see a lot of quick plays, a lot of 5, a lot of 10-yard gashes, and it'll be interesting to see, again, as I referred to in the first segment, can Arkansas tackle in space? LSU was not able to. Kyle Hill goes for 158 receiving yards, a touchdown in that one. Have to tackle him in space. You also have to tackle a bunch of their other good wide receivers in space.
So if Costello is going to be the type of quarterback you just described again in this game, and again, I say that because we've seen one game. Is State going to be different this week? We're going to find out. But if he's getting the ball out of his hands quickly, there's no sense in Barry Odom sending a ton of pressure on those type of moments because you're just wasting it. You're probably going to run by the football on your way to pursuit of the quarterback, which is meaningless. So I don't know how much pressure Arkansas will dial up. You're probably better off to have those linebackers in coverage. The other thing, a game like this where the quarterback is getting the ball out quick, shouldn't have a lot of holding penalties because it's hard to hold when quarterback doesn't have the ball, but for 0.8 seconds, 1.2 seconds. Shouldn't be a lot of holding in this ball game called either.
I'm fascinated by what's going to happen on Saturday night, and I know all of you are as well. I had an interesting notification that popped up within my banking account yesterday. I was scrolling through it, and I have a question for our listeners at 877-377-6963. Text or call in. Tommy, I'll start with you. Jenkins, you can hop in on this conversation as well. I was Square Cash last week. For those who don't know what Square Cash is, it is an application that allows you to send money from your bank account to another person's. I was Square Cash $1,600 last week from a person I had no idea who it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I clicked decline and block, which is what I do with any single person that I don't know when they ask for money or they give me money.
Nice guy.
I was gonna say, I wouldn't have took that $1,600.
Yeah.
Despite that,
and close the account immediately.
Despite that, I have the $1,600 in my account now.
Mm.
So I'm wondering, morally, what
yeah.
should I do in this situation? Is
Well,
that a
we
gift
know.
for-
Well,
is that
moral,
a gift from God?
No. Well,
I mean, I've been a good person. as of
trace
late.
you need to trace the bank account. I don't think God probably uses the local bank, but he might. I think morally we know the answer. You wouldn't be asking if you didn't know the answer. Morally, you can't keep the money, but
I don't know.
Sometimes we disappoint our grandparents.
A lot of these. A lot of those.
Hey, I
stumbled
understand.
across $300 at a gas station one time at a gas pump.
What did you
Cameras,
do with it?
I stuck it in my pocket and left. What you mean? What'd I do?
Wow. Note to self: don't leave wallet near.
Not so fast, my friend.
Wow.
I was a hungry high school kid at that time. And I needed some food.
Hey,
and
I
then the
don't
cop
blame you.
stops by.
Not so fast, my friend.
Oh my goodness!
Oh.
Wow. The truth
Wow,
comes
we're
out.
learning more about Jenkins every day.
I was gonna say that. Listen, from what I know about you, I would assume that you would walk to the counter and you'd call local police officers.
Wow. Hello, did anyone lose $300 in cash?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's me.
Okay, Brett from Spyro texting. He says, "Don't spend it. Tell your bank." That's probably why I need to go.
Well, there's a difference between what SmackDown's talking about, finding $300 laying on the ground in cash, and a traceable $1,600 transaction that's non-cash in your banking account.
What if it's
These
from-
are two different deals.
What if it's from like a cartel or?
Yeah, you could end up.
I mean,
you could end up in a bad spot.
My Square Cash name is a famous rapper. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. So
cute.
I'm going to guess though the cartel doesn't deal in amounts the size of 1,600. I'm going to guess that there's might have an extra zero or two.
Okay. Well, I will probably go.
I'm going to guess they're a little more. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and say the cartel probably doesn't use banks. Okay. I'm just going to.
That's probably a
guess
smart idea. I am curious to know what this $1,600 was for. If it was for an investment, if it was for a bet, what it was. But it seems like from the feedback that we've gotten from our listeners this morning, a couple texts that we need to I need to probably get it back. So
other services rendered, maybe.
If you're having that much problem with it, me and Tommy can take care of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want it, go ahead and let me give you my Venmo. I'll give you my Venmo
Coincidentally,
ID.
that's the amount of money that I've lost the casino twice. So kind of funny. JR, we will get to your call next on the Morning Rush.
We're trying to outwork everybody in recruiting.
This is Recruiting Thursday on the Morning Rush, brought to you by Breeden RV, where your adventures begin.
At Toyota, today's the day to score a great deal on Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Highlander, Tundra, and more. That means today's the day to take a ride in your thrilling new Camry. Today's the day to scale new heights in your powerful new RAV4 Hybrid. Or maybe today's the day to turn heads in your stylish new Corolla. Today's the day to feel invincible, gripping the wheel of your rugged new 4Runner. Today's the perfect day to tackle a new outdoor project in your tough new Tundra. Today might even be the day to go as far as the road will take you with the epic range of your new Highlander Hybrid. Today's the day to save on all your favorites like the Toyota Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Highlander, Tundra, and more. But hurry, this offer ends soon. Head into your Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. Participating dealers only. Event ends November 2nd.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands like Michelin and B.F. Goodrich. Take advantage of our $29.95 oil change, which includes a 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality Michelin and B.F. Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, B.F. Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
The new Michelin silicone blades last through everything.
On a world record-breaking drive from Alaska to South America in unpredictable conditions.
Thunderstorms, ice storms, they just don't quit.
Rainier Zeidlo chose Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades with advanced Quad-Tech 4-layer coated silicone that repels water, snow, and ice and lasts 2 times longer than other blades.
It's coming down in sheets.
Real-world proven. Extreme weather wiping performance. Upgrade to Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades today. Only at Walmart.
Randall Ford is excited to announce their state-of-the-art mobile service van, stocked with all the latest tools and technology needed to service your vehicle. Everything from oil changes, warranty repair, battery, software updates, brake jobs, and so much more. All is done with your convenience and safety in mind. We'll come to your office or home to provide professional service the Randall Ford way. Stop by today at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue, or check us out online 24/7. RandallFord.com. Ford, the #1 selling brand in America.
Are you looking for a new place to call home? Whether you're looking for an apartment, duplex, townhome, or a house, Trinity Multifamily has you covered. They even have options in surrounding states, from Texas to Michigan and Kansas to Tennessee. If you're looking for a new place to call home, make Trinity Multifamily your first call at 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
Evans Body Shop wants you to know that we are here for you. During this uncertain time, let us take the wheel and get your car repaired so you are ready to roll when the time comes. We offer pickup and delivery and will sanitize your vehicle during your complimentary detail that is done with all repairs. Don't want to get out at all? We have you covered. We offer a mobile estimating tool that allows you to take a few pictures and we will email or text your estimate directly to you. Check out our website or Facebook for more details.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
You can be the hero of the office. Just go to hitthatline.com and enter to win the Hardee's Lunch Bunch contest. Every week, one lucky listener wins lunch from your local Hardee's restaurant for up to 15 people at your job site or workplace. It's easy to sign up. Just click on the Hardee's Lunch Bunch contest button, give us your information, and you're entered just like that. Every Thursday, we announce a winner during halftime. Win free lunch for all your work buddies. The Hardee's Lunch Bunch from Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com. ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Turner, 5-step drop this time, going for the home. Ross, and it's caught! It's Lucas, and he's heading for the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas, 80 yards!
try this call-in number.
Call or text the Morning Rush at 877-377-6963.
My first official call-in.
I want to talk about some quickening headlines coming up here on the Morning Rush. But as I woke up this morning, about 50-something degrees, I was reminded what great weather we are having outside and what we've had the last couple of days, what we're going to have this weekend. And in order to take advantage of that weather, y'all, you need to go camping this weekend. You need to go camping this weekend, next weekend, or coming up here because it is absolutely fantastic. And you need to head over to Breeden RV and take advantage of this incredible camping weather. It's Breeden RV. It's located between Van Buren and Alma on Alma Highway. Ransom and his crew are going to take great care of you. They just had an incredible sale last month, and they have a bunch of new models in right now, whether it's Thor, Forest River, Coachman, and so many more. So head over to Breeden RV today. Take advantage of the incredible deals that they have right now. Breeden RV between Van Buren and Alma on Alma Highway. You can check them out at BreedenRV.com. Breeden RV, start living your best life today. So the quickie headlines I want to start with, Dorian Gerald was not able to practice on Monday. So we're going to have to wait and see what his status is. And the reason I bring up him first, Tommy, is because he had 1.5 sacks in the Georgia game, was getting after both Stetson Bennett and then DeJuan Mathis in that football game. And one of the issues that you've had on defense the last couple of years is the inability to get to the quarterback. I don't want to talk about that more extensively coming up in the program, but he is one of the guys that you need desperately. Yeah. Desperately. And so you hope he can play on Saturday night against the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Yeah, you look at the team that needs to hurry the quarterback. Arkansas had 4 quarterback hurries in this game as a team. I'm trying to see if Gerald had any. He did not have one of the hurries, but you mentioned the 1.5 sacks and the tackle for loss that he gets credit for. 4 total tackles before it was an ankle with him, turned ankle in the game. But that also sets up your linebackers who had the most tackles statistically in the game. When you got the pressure that also you contain the edge that rolls the play right back to Grant Morgan and Bumper Pool, and the stat sheet bears that out. It's kind of like a few years ago when Spade had all those tackles. You had a little more pressure up front. You're a little better up front, and it helps your linebackers kind of be a vacuum cleaner in there to suck everything else up.
Well, Kagan's already predicting that Arkansas is going to be able to get after KJ Costello and the Razorbacks. He's predicting 4 sacks on Costello, and he's also going to throw 4 interceptions. My goodness, that would be music to my ears to hear about from Chuck Barrett and Quinn Grovey, to hear another interception for KJ Costello. That would just be unbelievable this morning. By the way, Tommy,
4 would be 1 more sack than a week ago, so that would – and I think that's very doable in this type of offense you're going against.
And speaking,
who's going to have more plays? So more plays, more opportunity for sacks.
And speaking of the game on Saturday night, Greg and Fort Smith chimes in asking us if we'd seen the jerseys that Arkansas will be sporting. Now, last year, Arkansas revealed the Darren McFadden-esque era red Razorback jerseys. Well, they got the same one this year, but the away jerseys. So they will don the away whites this year. And I know that's not, like, for some of our listeners who are a little older, which is, listen, that's fine. You don't really care about that stuff, but it's important for recruiting and the kids on campus, and, man, they love these jerseys.
Yeah, it's a good look, and, hey, it's what Nike needs to do. It's for recruiting, like you said. I don't know how many people run down and buy a jersey because they change the jersey.
Not for $250 or $300 or whatever they're selling for.
I mean, I don't think that's his biggest seller. People say, well, they do it to keep selling stuff. I think when they change up the polo shirt or they change up a T-shirt or they change up a pullover, yeah, someone like me is probably more interested in that at still an exorbitant $60 or $70, but that's more doable. Game jerseys, not so much.
Not when they're priced at that.
I don't,
What I think is unique about this jersey combination, though, is it touches into a lot of different people. Now, I haven't talked to a lot of people that didn't like the Darren McFadden-era jerseys, regardless of their age. And the recruits and the young people like their age.
The results.
Yeah, and the results had something to do with it. And I think that kind of brings you back to the good times a little bit. We always say that this is a remember when state. Well, remember when Darren McFadden and these boys were in the SEC championship? That brings up good memories. And so when you see an Arkansas football team in a similar type of uniform, I think it brings up another good memory as well.
Yep, and it's just a tie or a connection to a great memory, a good time, and like I said, we're a nostalgic group of people in this state. So Things like that matter to us.
All right, let's talk about some playoffs both in the NBA and the MLB. The Los Angeles Lakers beat the Miami Heat 116-98 last night. Couple injuries for the Heat. Jimmy Butler went down at some point with a messed up ankle. That looked gruesome. Goran Dragic did something with his foot. I think a plantar tear or something with his foot. Did you watch the game last night? You might be able. I watched it. I think I watched the first half.
I watched like one more minute than you did.
I watched a little bit of the third quarter, and that was it for me. I didn't watch any of the first half.
I didn't realize it was going to start so late last night.
Yeah,
8 o'clock last night.
I thought it was a 7 o'clock.
It's a little late
tip-off.
for me.
I had a meeting at 8 o'clock, so I wasn't able to get there until about 9:30. So.
All right, so that's the NBA side of things. As far as the MLB goes, the Braves beat the Cincinnati Reds 1-0. Braves on a 1-0 series lead in that one. Houston Astros looked good yesterday. They beat the Minnesota Twins. Twins, unfortunately, Tommy, longest playoff drought in terms of losing streak. I think they're tied for that now, if I remember that correctly. The Miami Marlins beat the Chicago Cubs 5-1. The Oakland Athletics tied up their series with the Chicago White Sox, now 5-3. They won 5-3. The Rays advanced over the Toronto Blue Jays 8-2. Danny Russellville, St. Louis Cardinals, and Jeff Taylor and everyone else that's a Cardinals fan, they were able to get a W last night, 7-4. Over the San Diego Padres. The New York Yankees advanced past the Cleveland Indians 10-9. Big win for the Pinstripes. And then the Los Angeles Dodgers handled the Minnesota Brewers. Good grief. Milwaukee Brewers. 4-2. And they take a 1-0 series lead.
Jenkins, did I read that text correctly last night? They're going to allow some people into the World Series.
Yes,
and you're going to try to go?
So we had talked about this on halftime a couple times that they were planning on allowing fans. Well, that coincidentally falls the same weekend that it's a bye week here for Arkansas, that weekend of the World Series. So me and my family are taking a little road trip down to Dallas, and you'll judge me for this. We're going to see the monster.
He already knows.
We're going to see the monster trucks, which I used to be a big fan of those when I was a kid, still am, but just mainly to
you're just a kid at heart.
Just a kid at heart.
Yeah.
Get away for the weekend, have some good barbecue, and everything goes into it.
And speaking of the monster truck, I want to bring up something that you posted yesterday. There was a guy that was surprising his girlfriend, and he made her close his eyes the entire time, and he handed her 2 tickets. And she's like, "Are these Justin Bieber tickets?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she's like, so excited. Tell us what happened, man.
It's a great tweet. He hands her the tickets, and he's got her blindfolded. They go inside. She starts hearing all the noise. Oh, she's so excited, and he takes her to a wrestling match.
There you go.
Like,
that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a woman that loves wrestling and monster trucks.
That's all I need. How hard is that to find? But it turns out when that weekend happens in Dallas, that's the same weekend as the World Series. Yeah. So, and they announced yesterday, and I saw this on Ty's Rundown, and I panicked a little bit because I'm going to try to go to the World Series while we're there.
Yeah. You ever been to a World Series game?
Never have.
You?
Game 7, when the Kansas City Royals lost to the San Francisco Giants, and Madison Bumgarner came in the 5th inning and just took our lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And just absolutely. Gordon should have run home on that, and he got held up at third, but he should have run on that last play on the where he got held. I think Salvador Perez popped up the next at bat. Unfortunately,
I've gotten to go to probably 4 or 5 World Series games with my dad. It's one thing he loved was postseason baseball, so we went to divisional series. We went to NLCSs in St. Louis. We went to a few World Series together. So. It's just a neat deal to do.
I'm anxious to try to do it. I talked to Phil last night, seeing if he had any connections that he could help me out with, and it's going to be. He said it's going to be next to impossible to try to pull one of these off.
Yeah.
But
11th, if it was a full stadium, it's still difficult.
Yeah,
we knew somebody that knew somebody to get tickets that weren't ideal. But I mean, I guess everything will have a price tag.
Well, they said on the
depends on what you're willing to pay to go.
I think a press release says they start as cheap as $75 and they're as expensive as $400.
Well, I mean on the secondary market.
True.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to need about a 30, 45-minute break on next Tuesday.
In a payroll advance.
Payroll advance or something to get some. Because Mama said she wants to go.
All right.
And if Mama wants it,
well,
Matthew's got to come through in the clutch.
There you go.
Matt Dallas texted in, Jenkins, you need
Does she call you? Bang on. Does she call you Matthew?
No, only if I'm in trouble.
Okay.
And most of the time, if I am in trouble, there's a lot of emphasis on the hue.
Please tell me your mother calls you SmackDown now.
No, she tries to. She does. She ain't on that level yet.
Oh.
I'm still
You
Matthew.
got to stay in character.
Yeah.
Now, I got to ask, man, since we're bringing up your parents, what was your reaction when they called into the post-game show?
Yeah, that was fun. That was interesting.
Was it? Okay.
Well, they texted me prior to that and said, "Hey, can we call in?" I said, "Sure, I don't care."
So I think you and I differ on.
I guess I need to listen more intently.
I guess you and I differ because I told my dad, who I love very much, who texts in the program, who texts me often while he listens, I said, Dad, I love you. You can't call into the show.
Oh, now that's why.
I just told him that from the jump. I was like,
Brad, you call anytime.
You know, that's part of the show. That's part of my contract.
Just come up with a
father.
Here's what you do. You just come up with another name,
an alias.
That's what Ruskin's dad did. He had another name. He didn't call in as Ruskin's dad. He just came up with another name.
If I recognize my father's voice on the air, he will be immediately dropped. I love my
father. But we're not going. Me and Jenkins are not going to let that happen.
No,
we differ on that.
Brad, you're welcome anytime.
No, not
so
much.
My parents are welcome anytime.
No,
especially if you got some old stories we might be interested in. I think that's what Ty's afraid of is some of the some of the history of his childhood might leak out.
I'm an open book. I don't care because we were I don't know how the story got brought up yesterday on halftime, but talked about how my mom became a principal. The night before her first day at school, I made the smart aleck remark saying that she had never paddled a kid before. And that didn't end well.
She practiced, huh?
Well, she practiced with the hamburger spatula out of the cupboard and bent me over and wore me out.
Grab the closest thing.
Closest thing that hurt, boy.
Tell you another one you don't try is asking them if they're done yet. Don't ask them that question either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I occasionally was a smart aleck with like I haven't
or declare that didn't hurt.
I haven't heard smart aleck.
That's it.
That phrase in a while. Yeah, that's tough. All right, one more.
Go there.
One more quickie headline for you. This comes out of Conway, Arkansas. That a thief was caught on camera playing the guitar inside a music stop, which he ended up breaking in. So he walks in, Tommy, and this was apparently he sat down, strummed the guitar a little bit to make sure it worked, and then walked out with it. Is that the weirdest story that you've in terms of a robbery? I mean,
so he goes into. Let me make sure. He goes into the music store, picks up the guitar,
strums it a little bit, makes sure it works,
walks
make
out.
sure he likes the beat and stuff, and then there's 3 items that apparently the thieves got away with that cost around $12,000, and the owner is hoping insurance will cover it to replace him. They also shattered his door. But I just thought I'd like the.
Okay, so this was after hours. They broke into the. This wasn't like they walked in during business hours and did it.
Correct. I think it was 3 a.m. 3 a.m. and then earlier that morning.
See, I wonder in retail how many times people walk in and pick up an item like that, and then just walk out with it. No one notices it because it looks normal. You just don't even know. Hey, wait, did that guy pay for that?
The only thing I have ever stolen in my entire life is when we were at a CC's Pizza in Little Rock, and we had ordered cheese bread to go, and I went to the buffet and took a slice before I left. To my knowledge, that's the only thing I've stolen in my entire life.
What did you hire over here?
I think that's, and I was like,
he's got $1,600 in his account.
$1,600, and now
he's stolen. Yeah, he's trying to confiscate $1,600 that doesn't belong to him currently.
Good Lord!
And now he's confiscating pizza off the buffet.
It's like when I was 9 years old.
You won't even give back the
statute of limitations, right? Is that not the case?
It just goes to the core of your character. I mean, no wonder you don't want your dad to call in. What else might we uncover?
I feel like I was a pretty good kid growing up, so I didn't do really anything.
Me and
wrong
Jenkins
in
will
high
be the
school.
judge of that.
I guess that's well. You know what we'll do. You remember you always like to bring up college football final when Mark May and Lou Holtz were on in. Reese Davis was the judge. That would be you and Jenkins can be the Reese Davis of the program, and my dad can just bring up whatever.
So it's inevitable that someday Ty will end up in jail. That's why we keep our buddy Kevin again. Yeah, again. That's why we keep our buddy Kevin Hickey on speed dial and close to the program. So if we need him, he's never more than a call away because he can deal with foolish petty crimes that Ty may commit, or things more serious like breach of contract, employer-employee disputes, construction negligence. Just a few of the areas that Kevin specializes in as well. The Kevin Hickey Law Partners, Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley, ready to help you whether it's divorce, whether it's some of these other areas I was just mentioning. They're ready and willing to listen and give you the advice you need on your next step. So if someone has broken a contract, not lived up to their end of the agreement, you're having a dispute at work over your work agreement, you need to call our buddy Kevin Hickey. If you have a dispute that may involve going to court, don't do it alone and don't just hire any attorney. You need an experienced attorney that has handled trials in both state and federal court. That's the Kevin Hickey Law Partners. Call them today, 479-434-2414. That'll get you hooked up with the office in the River Valley or in Northwest Arkansas. 479-434-2414 or online at kevinhickeylaw.com.
Corey and Rogers texting Tommy says, next time I'm off, that my father should fill in for me. Corey, I don't think you like the program because all it would be
That's a good idea.
All
Corey.
it would be on is Baylor football
Corey.
and USA Today soccer. I don't think that would sell on this program. I think the radios would turn the other
But I think it would sell just to hear stories of Ty.
Y'all keep bringing this up. I was a good kid in high school. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I didn't do drugs.
And he gets to campus first weekend number 1 on campus.
It's a direct
freshman year.
It's a direct correlation.
And he's headed to the county lockup.
That's a direct correlation with with parents being too too restrictive on their kids. Parents out there listening, you can't be restrictive on your kids or they'll turn out like me.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
I'm blameless in this matter. 100%.
Blameless.
Blameless.
Spoken like a true millennial.
All right, I want to bring up this pressure on the quarterback situation coming up shortly, how Arkansas has to be better than they were last year in that category. But first, I want to welcome in Rod on I-40 into the conversation. Rod, you are on the Morning Rush, man.
Yeah, good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Man, we're good.
I'm just curious if those guitar thieves, were they wearing their mask and were they socially distancing? 'Cause that's all that matters nowadays, apparently, you know. But you guys talking about stealing, and, you know, I got the lecture when I was like 5 years old just before I started school, you know, and I asked Mom, you know, well, what would you do if somebody stole? And, you know, she actually beat my butt just for asking.
Yeah.
I guess that was an insult.
Here's what I'll do. Let me show you what I'll do.
Well, Dad was a Baptist minister, so it wasn't exactly the easiest upbringing in the 60s, right? Spread the rod and all that.
So what happened to
I
you
was
then?
one-
You know?
Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. I never stole. I never dared. I'd die right there on the spot, right?
Yeah, well, you'd heard all the hellfire and brimstone stories, so you knew if you did anything wrong, you were going directly to hell. So, you know.
Yeah, by way of my dad's belt,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
He'd have beat me plumb to death probably. So, you know, that was then. That's a different world. This is now. But, you know, I don't live in my parents' basement and all that stuff or my PJs. But, this Mississippi State offense, would this be a good one for the 3-4 defense where you can have your linebackers kind of back already?
Well, we've
have
heard,
more of them?
well, as far as that goes, Rod, we've heard from Barry Odom, we've heard from some of the defensive players. They keep saying, what kind of defense are you? You keep saying multiple, whether it's a 4-3, 3-4, 3-3-5, 3-2-6. You're going to see more of a 3-2-6, 3-3-5, and 3-4 because there's no
Almighty, you just made my head swim.
There's no sense of lining
That
up.
tire size or something?
Yeah, there's no sense in lining up all these defensive linemen if you're not going to be able to get to the quarterback. If KJ Costello is going to get the ball out in 1 or 2 seconds.
Yeah, I think you'll see fewer down linemen, and I think less called up, dialed up pressure on Costello because you're better off to have guys in that second level of the defense, guys that stay at the front line, just to cover receivers. Because if you look at where at least they completed a lot of passes last week, it was just beyond in the middle of the field at the line of scrimmage. So I don't think that's an area you want to evacuate trying to pressure the quarterback and leave wide open. That's exactly, though, what Mississippi State wants you to do. What Leach is trying to get you, that's the trap he's trying to lay for you.
I want somebody out on the boundaries, too, because this guy seems to like to get it out to the corners. So, yeah, this is Costello. He's the real deal, but, you know, there's a trap for every rat, right?
Yeah.
You hope so. I appreciate the call this morning, Rod.
We like the cheese, though. You mentioned those traps. We love the cheese.
And
it isn't always free.
If you're able to stall and stymie KJ Costello in this offense on first and second down, get them in third and long situations, you got to be able to get home. And by getting home, I'm talking about getting to the quarterback. Arkansas last season, y'all, 96th in sacks last year, 103rd versus conference opponents, and maybe the worst out of them all, 112th on the road.
Yeah.
They just did
but
not.
But you got 3 the first week, you know.
They didn't get to the quarterback at all last year. And yes, you took some positive away from getting the first week, and we got to remember, obviously, Barry Odom taking over from John Javis, and I think everyone listening to the program thinks that that's a better hire. But you got to be able to get to the quarterback. The Bulldogs allowed 5 sacks this past week against LSU. If you get them in tough situations where they still have to drop back, you got to get home.
To me, all that is gravy because the thing that Barry Odom, at least through one game, we'll see if it holds up for two, has taught this defense is to tackle. Do you recall very many missed tackles last week? Because that was a game in, game out, week 1 through 12 a year ago problem, is fundamentally missing tackles. And it just seems to me, and I'm sure there was one or two in the game where it was probably you just couldn't get there, you didn't have the speed, whatever. But, guys that you should have had wrapped up, plays that should have been ended, and the next thing you know, they just fought through you.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas has, at least through 1 week, appeared to do a better job of fundamentally tackling the opponent. And that, to me, is critical because, what's the whole point of defense? Is to tackle somebody.
And I think the sure-handed tackling is obviously very important, especially when Mississippi State is going to put you in a lot of space when it comes to this conversation. One of their left guards, or their starting left guard, is questionable for this football game. His name is Greg Eland, so we're going to be curious to see what would happen there. KJ Costello last week threw a couple picks. They had a couple fumbles as well. What are they going to do as far as the turnover margin is concerned? And I think the just ability to tackle like Tommy's talking about, there's only one play that stood out to me in the Georgia game that I felt like there was a missed tackle or just bad coverage. I think it was Jerry Jacobs who was on George Pickens and Stedman. I want to say Bailey. It's not Bennett. Threw a comeback route, and Pickens just kind of went by Jacobs and took it to the house. Outside of that, I don't remember a lot of plays. There probably were, but not a lot of plays that come to mind as far as just Arkansas blatantly missing tackles.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to be able to get pressure. And it doesn't have to be a sack, but you need to force KJ Costello to make mistakes because we saw in week number 1 he is mistake prone. So whether it's getting home and actually getting the sack, getting on the stat sheet, also just making the pressure, making the plays, Arkansas needs to continue to wreak havoc up front. And Dorian Gerald, you're really hoping he's back because he got you 1.5 sacks in game number 1.
Here's something funny from the Mississippi State depth chart. You look at quarterback, it says KJ Costello or Will Rogers. Okay,
Yeah, I don't know why Leach is just, I guess, goofing with people about that.
Yeah, I just find that it just made me chuckle looking at it, Tara, that there's an or situation with the quarterback at State. Okay. Nice try, Coach.
Yeah, that's not going to happen as far as that goes. The sack wise though, again, the statistics I just brought up, it's important that Arkansas not just improves the air. Tommy mentioned the missed tackling, being able to get off on third down. They were horrendous at that last year because they just got so ragged and tired because the offense was not on the field much at all, similar to what happened in the second half of the game. Part of the defense having a successful outing against KJ Costello is him not being on the football field. Tommy, you've talked about this several times this week. The offense for Arkansas has to give the defense rest, has to give them time. You can't go 3 and out. Again, an abysmal second half performance from the Arkansas offense where you go 3 and out, pick 6, INT, turnover on downs. There might have been another 3 and out in there. You can't have that in the second half of the first half or a quarter in this football game. You have to be up and down, getting yardage, taking time off the clock, giving your defense, giving your special teams an advantage and a little bit of help because the offense did not provide a lick of help for the Arkansas Razorbacks against Georgia.
Yeah, that's just kind of the second quarter. He's talking about 3 and out, interception, 3 and out, the safety on the fourth play. 3 and out, got a first down, then punted after another series. So the end of the first half, as good as you felt about the game at that point offensively, that was pretty abysmal. In the second half, there were a couple other stretches: 3 and out, interception, 3 and out, turnover on downs to end the game. Not good offensively.
Coming up, I want to talk about the comparison tour. It starts on Saturday night. I'm talking about the comparison between Mike Leach and Sam Pittman. Mike Leach was one of the guys that was being considered for the Arkansas job. How far did the talks go? How close was that to happening? We'll talk about that and just what the importance is, the game on Saturday night in Starkville. Hour number 2 of the Morning Rush on its way. Stay with us, folks.
at any of the Clay Maxey companies. It's just an easy, customer-centered experience. We wanted to make it a one-stop shop, so we added Kawasaki and Can-Am and Hustler and Worldline. It's really been a nice add for us. We provide full service. We're doing pickup and delivery. We were able to add the Vexus line, which is a premier bass boat line. We want to make it easy. We want you to visit us at any of the Clay Maxey companies. Clay Maxey Ford and Harrison, Berryville, Motorsports, Marine, or Clay Maxey NWA.
It's hot tub season at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. Burton's has everything you need with hot tubs starting at $28.95, including delivery, cover, and startup chemicals. Hot tubs are great for reducing stress, easing muscle pain, and helping you get a better night's sleep. Plus, find end-of-season deals on pool accessories, big green eggs, and outdoor living furniture at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale.
Month of October, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax. That's right, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax for the month of October.
We also offer in-store no-credit check financing, delivery service, and service after the sale. At Frankfurt Furniture, we are family-owned, and we pride ourselves in carrying as many made-in-the-USA products as possible.
Remember, in October, no sales tax at Frankfurt Furniture, your made-in-the-USA headquarters. Frankfurt Furniture, best seats in the house.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
This is Pastor Heath from Woodland. I know some of these ads make you glad, but most probably make you mad. The reason is people believe the lie that heals is better than the truth that hurts. Our purpose at Woodland is to risk the hurt by exposing the lies so you can be wise unto salvation. If you'd like to know more, check out our website, woodlandpeople.church. There you can download our app and listen to our podcast. That's woodlandpeople.church.
Nicer, newer car today. Are past credit problems keeping you up at night? Don't be scared. My For the People credit approval process is a treat, and our friendly, non-commissioned sales staff can help you get the nicer, newer car you want at a price and payment that fits your budget. Keeping the car you have? Let us get it ready for fall in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes, buy 3, get 1 free on all tires, or call ahead and set up your free winter-ready inspection. It's the Shocktober sales event, only in Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Come on into Buffalo Wild Wings and try our new fan favorites, featuring our new cauliflower wings paired with our mouth-watering Zing Zang sauce. While you're here, reward yourself with Buffalo Wild Wings' new daily trivia while enjoying our fan favorite smoked brisket burger or southern chicken sandwich. Let your taste buds win and come on in to Buffalo Wild Wings, the best and only place to watch college football and the NFL. Celebrate your fantasy team winning on our wall-to-wall TVs. Locations in Little Rock, Fort Smith, Sherwood, Jonesboro, and Conway. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you are an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
When you've escaped the screens and the sun bathes everything in a golden glow, and your friend hands you a cold organic beer that tastes as perfect as nature itself, that's pure gold. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the first national USDA certified organic beer. Organic by nature. Enjoy responsibly. 2020 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, St. Louis, Missouri.
Did you know that you can get your car serviced or repaired without ever leaving your house? All you have to do is call Jody's Auto Service Center at 479-649-3399. Jody's will pick up your vehicle, service or repair it for you, and return it fully disinfected to your driveway. Pickup and delivery is free for jobs $75 or more. Jobs less than $75 can be picked up and returned for a $10 fee. Let Jody's Auto Service Centers handle all your service and vehicle repair needs. Call 479-649-3399. Jody's Auto Service Center.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC has over 200 pre-owned vehicles to choose from luxury to economy and everything in between, including over 50 great vehicles with payments under $250 a month, certain to fit your needs and your budget. And at Harry Robinson Buick GMC, you always get more for your trade. 50 vehicles with payments under $250 a month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Lots of blue sky, lots of sunshine today. Our high this afternoon in the upper 60s to low 70s. Mainly clear sky tonight, and overnight low in the low to mid 40s. Back to sunshine Friday. Our high in the upper 60s, and Saturday there is a chance of a few showers across the north. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Hey, it's Derek Ruskin. Make sure to tune in to Ruskin and Zach every weekday afternoon from 3 to 7 on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
You're causing a major disturbance on my time.
If I'm here and you're here, doesn't that make it our time?
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station. Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
There's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there ain't but one Razorback. Number one.
This is The Morning Rush.
Borderline erotic.
With Ty Richardson.
Sunshine. That's cool. I can dig it.
And Tommy Kraft.
Do I look happy? What's wrong?
Lloyd!
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Arkansas is on the brink of having the worst losing streak in the Southeastern Conference. And we'll touch on that coming up here and why this game is important for a variety of different reasons. Think about the Sam Pittman, Mike Leach comparison and a lot of other things that go into this equation on Saturday night. We'll get in that conversation coming up here on the Morning Rush. I want to remind you that it is a recruiting Thursday, and we are brought to you by Breeden RV this morning. They need your trailers. They need your RVs. They had great success last month with a huge blowout sale, so come and bring in your RV or trailer today if you're not using it. And if you don't want to sell it, they can also consign it for you as well. They have all these new different models as well, so if you're in the market for a new RV, they have them for you there. It's the best camping weather right now. It's about 50 or 60 outside right now across Arkansas, so take advantage. The camping weather is not around the corner. It is here. So stop by and see Ransom and his crew at Breeden RV between Van Buren and Alma on Alma Highway. Breeden RV, start living your best life today. So Andrew Hutchinson compiled the longest SEC losing streaks in conference history. You remember, quick trick question, Tommy. What were the two SEC teams that are no longer SEC teams?
Sewanee is one of them, and Georgia Tech would be the other.
Was Georgia Tech the other one?
I believe they were in.
Was Tulane on there? Am I making
Tulane? I think there's more than
Was
two.
there more than two?
Sewanee, I mean, I watched that over us last year, the football in the South or whatever, that 8 or 9 part series on the 150th year. Sewanee over in Tennessee was like an original member, back in the 30s.
I have one guy that I know from high school that went to school there. So they had 37 losses from 1933 to 1940. Vanderbilt follows that up from 76 to 81. They had 33. Coincidentally, another Vanderbilt team from 2000, 2003. Get this, another Vanderbilt team from 1995 to 98. Mississippi State has 21 straight losses, and they had that from 1965 to 1970. Right now, Arkansas is sitting at 20 straight SEC losses from 2017 to now.
Yeah, and it's really worse than that. If you look at it, if you zoom out a little bit more and you look, there's a couple of long losing streaks that basically back each other up. So you got a couple. There's very few wins over about a 4-year period, 5-year period.
And I think it was a little worrisome that Arkansas's offense looked bad on Saturday, but then you also just throw out number one scoring defense this past season. They were still dealing with the new offensive coordinator and stuff. But the question I have is, if you're saying that about Arkansas, why does that standard not hold true to Mississippi State? I'm just asking the question. I can give you actual reasons.
You're talking about the offense. We were looking at this and just conversing about this during the break. 16 offensive drives for Arkansas Saturday. 12 of those 16, 12 of them had 4 plays or less. I'm throwing in. There was 11 3. Again, let me explain it. There was 11 3 and outs. I'm throwing in the one where they ran the fake play and it ended in a safety. That was a 4-play drive. It was worse than a 3 and out. I'm including in there because that's just really the bucket it belongs in. Really belongs on its own. 12 of your 16 drives, 4 plays or less. You had a 6-play drive, a 7-play drive that ended in a touchdown, 6-play drive and a punt, an 11-play drive for the field goal, and an 8-play drive that ended in a turnover on downs to end the game. Well, the last drive for Arkansas didn't end the game technically, but that's it. I mean, you really had about 2 drives on the day.
And I don't think
out of 16.
I'm just going out on guessing here that Sam Pittman wants to be tied for the fifth worst SEC losing streak, even though he's only been here for now. It will be his second game for that, but he's going to be lumped in that category.
He's responsible for ending the streak. He's not responsible for the streak.
Correct, and it's important to end the streak. And I don't think the expectation for Saturday night's game, and correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, 877-377-6963 is for Arkansas to walk into Starkville and win that game. You'd love for that to happen. I just don't think that's the expectation. What you do expect on Saturday night is for this team to compete. I went back to my text with Clay Henry on Saturday morning because he's kindly letting me add to the Hogs Illustrated prediction poll, and I said 45-31 Mississippi State. That's what I predicted. Now, we were pretty spot on with our first guesses week 1. I'm hoping I'm drastically incorrect in week number 2 and Arkansas pulls out the win, but there is some pressure on Sam Pittman. I know Mike Leach was asked Tommy yesterday about just kind of the coaching situation with Arkansas, if that ever transpired. And he said, I have the utmost respect for the University of Arkansas. Any conversations that we may have had are between us. That's all I'll have to say about that. In so many words, in the politically correct way of saying, we talked about me potentially being the head coach there. Now, I don't know how deep the conversations got between Mike Leach and Hunter Yurachek, but it's something that we'll definitely keep an eye on with this football team.
It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's something as a fan you pay attention to, and I guess I don't think Hunter Yurachek gives it a ton of thought.
Well, here's why I think it's important. Now, I think Sam Pittman is going to I think he can have success at Arkansas. I don't know if I'm ready to say that he is going to have success at Arkansas just yet. But why it's important, Tommy, is because this is one of the guys that you consider for the head coaching job. If Sam Pittman, Lane Kiffin, and Eli Drinkwitz all have success and Sam Pittman doesn't, then it's extremely important because you missed. I don't think Hunter Yurachek missed to this point, but it's important if we look back on this conversation 5 years down the road, those 3 guys are 2 guys.
I'll grant you that, but in the current perspective, it's not as important. It's not that important today.
Yeah.
A year from now, 3 years from now, I'll get on board with you.
And that's why I'm saying, again, the perspective is you have to wait a few years before you can make an accurate decision on the best hire of the 4 coaches between Drink, between Leach, and between Kiffin, and between Pitt. But at this point in time, the reason why it's important as of Saturday is because this starts the comparison. We've seen the first games. Mike Leach got a big-time win against the defending national championship and champion in their house. Lane Kiffin, Sam Pittman, they played him for a half. You look at you look at Florida Ole Miss. Ole Miss's offense looked good. Drink in Missouri, they played them better. This is the first head-to-head matchup that we've gotten between a new SEC coach. That's why it's important.
It's just important to win the game because this is one of your more winnable games, regardless who's coaching. I get all that, and that's great for fans to discuss and debate and dissect. But at the end of the day, this is a game that for months we've been talking about is winnable based on some of what you're talking about because the programs are in a similar position. And, now after 1 week of play, we've probably adjusted our opinion a lot more about Mississippi State than we have at Arkansas. So, still, this is one of your more winnable games, regardless of what happened last week. But now you went from playing a team that you thought was not going to be a ranked team, was not going to be maybe considered to finish in the top 3 of the West, to all of the sudden they're well within the top 20. 16 in one poll, I think 17 in the other. Or 14 in one and 16 in the other this week for Mississippi State entering the polls. So now all of a sudden you're playing a team that you're even saying, hey, this is a team that may finish right behind Bama in the West. And I can't refute that, not to this point.
I think it's just because of how wide open the West is, and that's a
Right.
conversation I've already put in our rundown for tomorrow because.
But they're grabbing the brass ring when it's there, you know.
Why wouldn't you? So this is a text in from Justin in Van Buren. He says, I hope we didn't make a mistake in passing on Leach. Here's what we joked about early in the morning. You may, if you lose on Saturday night, don't jump off a bridge, but if you win, Arkansas made the right hire.
Jump off the bridge only if you don't compete and you have 12 of 16 drives that are 3 and out or worse.
At least on the offense.
You know, yeah, that's the point right now. Hey, tired of your noisy neighbors looking to upgrade your apartment? Maybe you're looking for a duplex or a townhome anywhere in our state, Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, Central Arkansas. Our friends at Trinity Multifamily have you covered. They can help you find a new place to call home. Call them today at 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Coming up, we will get into your SEC update. We'll also talk with Tom Murphy of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Also, we'll welcome in Ben in Fayetteville to the show, who has been patiently waiting. That's all coming up on the Morning Rush.
This is Recruiting Thursday on the Morning Rush, brought to you by Breeden RV, where your adventures begin.
Yes, sir! The great thing about facts, they're proven. Like the fact that crude oil contains impurities. Or that base oil made from natural gas is 99.5% free of impurities. And the fact that Pennzoil is the first synthetic motor oil made from natural gas, not crude oil. It gives you unbeatable engine protection. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Based on Sequence 4A wear test using SAE 5W30. Ask for it at your local automotive retailer.
You always get more at Orr.
We always put the customer first at Orr Chevrolet in Fort Smith. Since 1924, the Orr family of dealerships has grown based on one simple principle. Give the customer more money for their trades and give them a lower price on their new vehicle. It's a simple concept, really, but one that very few dealers honor anymore. Hey, we know you paid a lot of money for your vehicle, and Orr Chevrolet wants to pay you the maximum amount for it today. Then we'll give you an awesome price on a new Chevrolet. But we're not done giving you more. Included with any new vehicle sold. Orr Chevy will also give you a lifetime powertrain warranty, 2 years of free maintenance, and free car washes for life. So come get a lower price and more money for your trade today at Orr Chevrolet on Auto Park Drive in Fort Smith and 24/7 at OrChevyFS.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You always get more at Orr.
Craving prime rib this morning? Hardee's introduces the new prime rib and fried egg biscuit. We took tender prime rib and put it on a fluffy made-from-scratch biscuit. Yeah, that's right. We made prime rib for breakfast. Premium, juicy, sliced prime rib for breakfast. And then we topped it with a freshly cracked fried egg and melted Swiss. Why? We knew you needed it, that's why. The new prime rib and fried egg biscuit from Hardee's. Feed your happy. Available for a limited time during breakfast hours at participating restaurants. Price and participation may vary.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
The best TV experience in the nation is available locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Dish has the Hopper 3, the most advanced DVR, and delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recording anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now, WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3888. 3474 for more details, or visit us online at shopwownow.com. Get the Hopper 3 today by calling WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474, or online at shopwownow.com.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device. World of Wireless has moved just a few miles east, next to Frank Rowe Furniture in Barling.
Evans Body Shop wants you to know that you are now able to get the repair process started on your schedule. With just a few clicks of your cell phone, you can send photos and your vehicle information directly to our shop. We will respond within 24 hours with a detailed estimate for repairs. It's that simple. We are here for you. Visit our website for all of the details. We offer complimentary pickup and drop-off as well, and extra steps are being taken to ensure your car is returned as good as new and completely sanitized.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Jones on the end around. He's got great speed. Still on his feet. Felix Jones might be gone. He is. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Follow us on Twitter at Ty Sports Radio and at Tommy Kraft ESPN.
Welcome back into the Morning Rush. Going to talk to Tom Murphy coming up in about 5 minutes or so. Also, we'll get into your SEC update, but I want to tell you about an event going on in Harrison.
Yeah, the fifth annual Ride the Ozarks Motorcycle Rally is going to be at the Boone County Fairgrounds October 9th and 10th. Free admission both days. They're going to have music starting at 6 o'clock on Friday night featuring Chris Dees, Kickin' Country, and Headley Lamar. Saturday night music begins at 5 o'clock featuring James White, Bad Mojo, the Nick Reed Band, and fan favorites, the George Brothers. So great music both Friday and Saturday night. Beer garden, bike show, hey, vendors from all over the country. This can be a great thing to check out. So if you're looking for a wonderful place to ride to, hang out, there's going to be guided rides you can go on. It's all going to be at the fifth annual Ride the Ozarks Motorcycle Rally. Again, Boone County Fairgrounds, October 9th and 10th. For more information, check out ozarksrally.com. That's ozarksrally.com, or find them on Facebook.
Ben in Fayetteville wants to talk about the expectations for the football team on Saturday night. Ben, you were on the Morning Rush.
Hey, good morning, guys. First and foremost, I hate cowbells. Mississippi State with that cowbell, I can't stand it. The second thing I hate is lawyers. And as much as I hate lawyers, I would have hired Mike Leach immediately whenever he became available, because he's a lawyer. I hate lawyers, but I would have hired him, because I don't know the excitement that would have been here in Fayetteville if the coin was flipped and Leach would have came in first game and beat the reigning national champs. I mean, if the coin was flipped, I mean, beating Georgia, coming in first game, beating them, taking a huge scalp. I don't know the excitement. I've got a buddy that's a Mississippi State fan. He drives me crazy with these cowbells in his garage, and when we're having some adult beverages, I hate it. I don't know what to say about expectations. Living here for the last 6-7 years, it just seems like the level of mediocrity that is accepted and now becoming expected is disappointing. I mean, okay, Arkansas played Georgia tough through the first half. You can spin it like that, but you can also spin it that Georgia was just, I mean, they were failing at every front.
Yeah, but Ben, wouldn't you say
they had a JUCO quarterback?
Ben, wouldn't you say a rise to mediocrity would be an improvement?
I would take mediocrity
exactly.
right now, Tommy.
That's my point.
And I follow you on Twitter. I would take mediocrity. Mediocrity would probably melt Dixon Street right now.
So is following me on mediocrity, or following me on Twitter mediocrity? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
Words hurt, man.
You got a dose of reality on your Twitter whenever you brought that up.
Well, I mean, we got to get to a day.
We
got to get to a day where we're mad about losing to anybody by 4 touchdowns,
and not picking like this moral victory crap where everybody gets a trophy. And that's what's going on here, man.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking if the coin was flipped and we had Leach and he had beat Georgia the first game, Do you know how crazy it is in Starkville right now that they took the national champs down first game with this guy?
Well,
I mean,
hey, there's a reason. There's a
oh,
reason he
man.
didn't want the
I'm
Arkansas
pissed.
job.
I'm pissed.
Think about it. I mean, there's a reason he thought he could do it in Starkville and he couldn't do it in Fayetteville. If he thought he could have done it in Fayetteville, Ben, he'd have taken the job first, right? Because it was the first
I know,
one
man.
offered.
And that's another thing. I hate lawyers, but I like Leach. He made the right decision. He really did.
We'll see.
Can't blame the guy.
Hey,
one game.
You guys take care. I appreciate you.
Well, let's be honest. Leach has lived in Lubbock, Texas, Pullman, Washington, and now Starkville, Mississippi. Fayetteville was too good of a town for him. He doesn't like.
Yeah, you may be right.
Legitimately the worst. And I have conversations, and I was actually talking to a Mississippi State fan about this on Saturday night. He was wearing his polo shirt. We were having just, hey, man, y'all looked really good today, and we were talking about stuff. Even, like, Mississippi State fans don't admit it, but they either have the worst or second worst town in the SEC, and that fits Leach. It fits him. Listen, Fayetteville's too nice of a town for him. He looked around, and he's like, you know what? It's not the players. It's not the great facilities. It's not the great tradition. This town is too nice for me. I can't do it.
No place to put my double wide. I'll move to Starkville.
Yeah, he's too nice when it comes to that conversation as far as just with that. And listen, there's a reason U.S. News ranked Fayetteville the number 1 college town in the SEC, number 4 college town. I think it was Public University. Maybe it was in the country. Might be misquoting that. I know it was the number 1 college town in the SEC. Fayetteville's a great place. You got great facilities. You got good tradition. I know it seems like it's been a lifetime ago, but you got to remember you competed for Natty a decade ago.
Better start winning some games or they'll change that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You need some football wins to help add to that resume. 877-377-6963 is our number to call or text in. If you have a question for Mr. Tom Murphy, who we welcome in to the program right now. Tom, did he pass on the Arkansas job was because Fayetteville was too nice? You're a resident there, man.
Hey, guys. Good morning. And it's a lovely day. I don't know. Mike Leach was asked about it yesterday by Bob on the SEC call. He's like, anything we talked about is, between us, between the parties. I don't know. It could have been that $5 million was his asking price, and maybe the Razorbacks weren't prepared to do $5 million, or maybe they didn't get a good vibe off of Leach, because Sam Pittman sold himself and his passion for Razorback football and wanting to be here. And I get the feeling that Lane Kiffin and Mike Leach might have wanted to be, wooed, like, we're the big names, and what can you do for me to get me there? And Sam Pittman sold himself. Now, I don't know if that's the way everything went down, but those guys had a little bit more leverage than Sam Pittman did. So that's where we wind up where we are today.
Tom, our Morning Rush poll question is, what should be the expectation for Arkansas on Saturday night against Mississippi State? So I'll ask that to you. What should be the expectation for that football game?
Well, in a broad sense, to me, be competitive. Like the Georgia game, they were competitive until the third quarter with the block punt and the pick six. Just be competitive. Be on the field. Make Mississippi State feel like they've been in a physical game. But there's a lot of components that are going to come with that. I mean, they cannot let Kylan Hill just run all over them like he did last year. And I think they'll be a better tackling team. I think the defense will play better. It's just that they're so high-powered. And I'm going to go into a little bit of a deal here, but Sam Pittman described the way they run their offense as they get set, and then they see what the defense is doing. So maybe they'll run some motion to see if the corner or the nickelback goes with a guy in motion to determine whether you're in man or zone. And if they do, and then when they do that, then they look over to Mike Leach, and he makes another call. So they check from one pass play to another pass play, and so they've always got a chance to try to get man coverage, and then they run rub routes across the middle and try to get one DB screened off from a receiver who's crossing over the middle, and then that guy's running wide open. Happened to LSU time after time. Yep. And LSU used its linebackers to try to create extra pressure, and it left the middle of the field open. Mm-hmm. So it's a dilemma. If Arkansas's linebackers drop into the middle areas of the field to try to cut down on the crossing routes, then you're probably only rushing with four guys. And so I think guys like Julius Coates and Mateo Soli and Zach Williams are going to be super huge in this game to get KJ Costello off his point.
Do you see any games this year, and particularly this one, where Arkansas can go in and play man coverage, particularly press at the line of scrimmage? I don't know how many games this year Arkansas, with this schedule, is going to be able to press up at the line of scrimmage and go man-to-man very often.
Right, yeah, and I don't think that's going to be a regular event. But you got to do it some. And what Barry Odom's got to do is try to fool KJ Costello and try to show one thing and do another thing. And, I mean, you can't get away with that all the time. And Mike Leach is cagey. He's been through this. So it's going to be a really good chess match between he and Barry Odom. And, obviously, them being at home, them kind of soaring on the success from last week, things are kind of in their favor. So Arkansas is going to have to – I mean, LSU got a couple turnovers. Arkansas needs to get a couple turnovers and win the turnover battle, as they did not do last week, to be competitive. But that's my expectation, is to be in the game. It was a blowout at halftime of the Mississippi State game last year.
Yeah, and the last couple of years it has not been pretty in this series. Tom Murphy with us here on the Morning Rush. Now, after thoroughly reading the rule book, they're still going to determine the winner Saturday night based on the number of points scored. And in order for Arkansas to improve there, Tom, your offensive drives have to be more productive. Arkansas had 12 drives out of their 16 that had 4 plays or less. That is an area that we can talk about the defense improving and how you're going to stop Costello. None of that really matters unless you get your offense more effectively down the field consistently. How does Arkansas fix their offense this week?
Right.
Other than not playing Georgia.
I do think that they're not going to see a defense, or maybe when Alabama rolls around here at the end of the year, right, they won't see a defense quite as fast and just it's seeming like knowledgeable, like schemed up in every way. And the little middle screen they threw to Rakeem Boyd, Monty Rice was all over. I do think that it was a good lesson for them, and they're going to line up better to give Felipe Franks more time to see things and possibly check things at the line, and also establish the running game. A good way to beat Mississippi State is if you can establish the run, knock them off the ball a little bit, and then end your drives with touchdowns. And there's a little bit of pressure on the air raid to try to score, because it can be a track meet. LSU got into the track meet, and they didn't succeed. They only ran for 80-something yards, averaged 2.1 yards per carry. So, obviously, there's something pretty good going on with the Mississippi State defensive front to choke down the run game the way they did. But Arkansas has got to get Rakeem Boyd on the loose some in this game.
Talking with Tom Murphy here on the Morning Rush. Tom, what I brought up this morning, this is the first stop on the comparison tour between Sam Pittman, between Mike Leach. Now, the game on Saturday night, whoever wins or loses, it's not going to determine the success that these guys will both have at their tenures, but this is the first head-to-head matchup that we get to see between a guy that might have been your head coach. Do you think that's added pressure on Sam Pittman in this football game?
Yeah, I really don't think Sam Pittman views it in that manner. Mike Leach took over a different type of roster and brought in a super veteran quarterback like Arkansas did, and a pretty talented defense. There's still some guys like Earl Thompson, some of the DBs they have that are veteran guys who are good players. And Sam Pittman took over a different roster. Now, I think the first half of the Georgia game showed that they could start believing in what the coaching staff is doing, like what Barry Odom is running and what he's calling, how he's trying to disguise things on defense. The guys can buy into that. And you heard Grant Morgan on Sam Pittman's radio show last night talk about how they believe now. I mean, they think they can be a competitive team. And so I don't know if, game one between Pittman and Leach does anything other than determine which team, what their records are this year. But I like the direction Sam Pittman's going in. He said they feel really good about their game plan going into this game. So we'll see what happens.
I know that a lot was made out of the Mississippi State win against LSU on Saturday. And I look at this LSU roster from top to bottom based on what they lost from last year, based on no Derek Stingley Jr. and stuff. And I just think the win might be, when we look back at it, a little overrated. And I also think the SEC West is wide open in terms of second place. Tom, when you look at the SEC West right now, I mean, is there really a team that solidified itself as the clear and concise second-best team in the SEC West?
Well, Auburn and Texas A&M didn't have super impressive wins. I mean, Auburn's defense played very well. Texas A&M, I didn't see as much of that game, but just the final score, they were at home, 17-12 against Vanderbilt, not a super impressive result. Also, Alabama still had a lot of their starting back seven in the game when Missouri scored some points in the second half of that game and held Alabama to under 100 total yards in the second half. So it's a different year. I mean, we've talked about this, leading up into the season. There was going to be some strange things, some COVID-related things, guys missing, areas of the game that you didn't get to rep as much, maybe. So I do think the SEC West has got some openness to it, and Mississippi State clearly probably sees themselves as a team that can jump up in there. LSU's roster was depleted massively, and I don't think you can really underestimate the loss of Joe Brady and Dave Aranda and all those offensive skill guys. And so not that anybody might have called Mississippi State's win at LSU, but to think that they could have gone in there and been very competitive, yes, I think you could have called that.
Yeah. Arkansas clearly had some special teams issues last week, particularly in the coverage game. Having some of these players back that were absent a week ago, that's bound to help. What else has to change, Tom, this week for special teams to look more special?
Yeah, they've got to get off their block. I mean, Sam Pittman talked about it. They've changed some of their personnel on special teams. They want to be a little heavier. But I think on the free kick, I'm not sure which kick Sam Pittman was talking about, but on one of them, he said when the return man caught the ball, there wasn't a Razorback within 40 yards. So the dude had a total head of steam, and it was one of the 40-plus yard returns that they had. Mm-hmm. Getting off blocks better, just being more physical. And he said, you're going to get grabbed, on the way down. They just got to fight off that better. And Arkansas was not a bad cover team, not a horrible cover team last year, but they were on Saturday. I like what they got from the punters. I think A.J. Reed's going to be okay at kicker. And they've got to get a few more touchbacks out of Vito Calvaruso because Georgia showed if it's not a touchback, they had a chance to break them. Yeah. And so and then they have to get the punt shield issue fixed that led to the block punt too.
Earplugs or no earplugs for you on Saturday?
I am glad you asked me the question. I have already been packing and didn't have them in there, and I will walk in there and put them in. I do not like cowbells. It's illegal, and I wish the SEC would really enforce that. Well, I'll be bringing my earbuds in.
I think Clay summed it up perfectly. When Alabama loses a couple of games there, and Alabama and Nick Saban start having an issue with the cowbells, that's when they will disappear. And only until then will that. It's fine until Alabama's mad about it.
It almost just strikes me is when they let them have them. It was almost like, well, poor little Mississippi State. They're not very good in football. We'll let them do this. Mm-hmm. And now they're a very good, strong team, and it's against the rules. It's an artificial noisemaker, and they shouldn't have them.
Yeah, when Saban gets mad about it, they'll disappear. So, all right, well, safe travels to Starkville, and we'll talk next week.
Sounds good, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Tom.
I will eventually, even though I constantly love to make fun of Starkville, I eventually want to make the trip
to
Starkville, Mississippi. It's just a bucket list type of thing here on a Recruiting Thursday. We're brought to you by Breen RV this morning. Hey, they need your trailers. They need your RVs. They had such a successful August that they need more inventory. They also have a bunch of brand new inventory that they're getting in, whether it's Coachman, whether it's Forest River, Thor, whatever. They have models that are arriving daily. The camping weather, y'all, it's here. I'm looking outside. It is a brisk, crisp day outside. So go and take advantage of the camping weather over the course of a week, over the course of the weekend, sometime this fall, sometime this winter, because it is here. Stop by Breen RV in Van Buren and Alma off Alma Highway. And then if you go online, you go to BreedenRV.com and then take advantage of all their inventory. Ransom and his crew have a fantastic selection of stuff, so stop by and see him between Van Buren and Alma on Alma Highway. Breeden RV, start living your best life today.
Any chance on Saturday that, I mean, we know Leach is all about the air raid, and they had 60 pass attempts last week. Any chance they change approaches slightly this week and let Hill run the ball? Kylan Hill have it as a handoff and run it more and see if that works early? Or do you think Leach would never abandon that identity? I mean, I would think at some point there's going to be games where why wouldn't you let Hill run the ball, and this might be a game you at least try it early.
I mean, it just depends on his arrogance. If he thinks he's going to beat Arkansas through the air, then he's going to beat him through the air. But Arkansas showed that they pretty much stonewalled Georgia, especially in the first half on the ground. And they were able to get a few things going in the second half or whatever. But it was really Arkansas's pass defense. It wasn't bad by any means. The second half, they just got wore down because they were on the field 24/7. I would think that based on what Mike Leach saw from the Razorbacks in week number 1, he's going to try and pass on them as he did. I
would tend to agree with you.
I think there's going to be more success that Arkansas's defense has compared to what LSU was able to have. I just don't see a scenario where KJ Costello has another 600-plus yard performance. But I
just know Kylan Hill came back to run the ball. Now, he got yards last week on catches, and I know some of those were behind the line of scrimmage, not all of them. But at some point there's going to be places where I would feel like they would try, and if Arkansas is as good at stopping the run as they were last week, then you do something else. But I wouldn't be surprised to see some early play calls with Hill running it this week.
Well, here's what it was either you or Clay told me this yesterday, because I said that, and you said, well, they came back to win. I don't know if it was you or Clay that said that when I asked that question.
They came back to what?
With Kylan Hill. I don't remember if it was you or Clay that said that when it came to that, because that's what I initially said. I mean, you only get, 8 carries in that first game?
You brought this up a couple days ago.
Yeah, and you brought up, I think, a fair point, and I'll use it as well. Like, you came back to win. If you're Kylan Hill, the NFL knows you can run. Like, you've established that. But now they're like, oh, my gosh, this guy can go for 158 yards catching the ball, too. Well, and not to mention.
Is it truly catching? If I throw it, I mean, we're 6 feet apart here in the studio. If I throw it from me to you and you take off running, is that really I mean, I know it goes down statistically, but are you really receiving the football?
Absolutely. Because the NFL, there's so much of that in the NFL that they're.
I understand, but effectively it's still a run. So.
I mean, listen, I'm not going to argue with it on that, but what the NFL is doing today is there's so much of that stuff.
No. The NFL college game is having more influence on the NFL than the vice versa.
And there's some guys that have brick hands. They have brick hands. And they can run the football, but they have brick hands when it comes to catching it. So, like with Kylan, like we know that he can run the football. NFL teams know that this guy is one of the best, if not the best, running backs in the SEC. But what Leach is doing and what KJ Costello is doing is not only can you see, oh, this guy can be a bruiser, this guy can also catch passes out of the backfield too and be a receiving threat, which is important. And regardless if it's a 2-yard pass or a wheel route or slant or whatever it runs, you're still showing that ability. Mm-hmm. And to me, and I'm forgetting if it was you or Clay that brought this up the other day, that if I'm Kylan Hill, I'm not getting to run the ball as much, at least for game number 1. But we just beat the defending national champion in their house. Well, that's listen. We always gotta prioritize the team over the individual. And from a team standpoint, if Kylan has that mentality, that he should be extremely happy with what happened in game number 1.
And you set him up. You catch those behind the line of scrimmage. You use your receivers to block out in front, and that way you neutralize the interior defensive lineman by getting that ball quickly out to the edge. Your linemen set up the blocks, and it's like 5 to 8 easy yards a lot of times. So, and it takes away all of those interior defenders for the opponent. So I would not be surprised to see a heavy dose of some of that. Throw it out to him, let him get his yards downhill from behind the line of scrimmage, and those receivers just open up lanes. So we'll see. It's going to be a fun one on Saturday night. Kickoff set for 6:30 right here on your favorite radio station. We are brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. Hey, one of the things we ought to do this year is go to Gaston's. We can do the pregame show, hang around, build a big fire in the fireplace, and watch football all day and all night. That is an awesome thing to do. Then when you're not watching football, you get out Sunday morning and you try to think about it and why did we win? Why did we lose? Whatever happens while you're doing some fly fishing or doing some great bait fishing with one of their great guides at Gaston's. 870-431-5202. Wonderful place to spend a weekend, particularly on one of these Arkansas road trips. Wonderful place to sit back and just enjoy college football. Their great restaurant has a wonderful view of the White River. We'll be telling you about their dinner specials at this time tomorrow night for the weekend. 870-431-5202. We love Gaston's. You will too. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
We're trying to outwork everybody in recruiting.
This is Recruiting Thursday on the Morning Rush, brought to you by Breeden RV, where your adventures begin.
If you have experience transporting frozen and refrigerated goods and want to be part of a trucking family with insurance and be home every week, you need to contact Brent Higgins Trucking. Since 1997, Brent Higgins Trucking in Mulberry has been proudly delivering to and from various areas of the United States, including but not limited to Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Brent Higgins Trucking, where you're a name, not a number. Contact them at 479-997-2366 or at BrentHigginsTrucking.com.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources. I'm shocked it's October already. This year's gone by so fast it's scary. Now I'm afraid I'm not going to hit my goals. So I'm rolling out my most shocking deals yet. It's my Shocktober sales event. Swap your current car for one of our Rath Road Ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center, and priced to save you money. So dump that pumpkin that's haunting your driveway. Trade and save on a nicer, newer car today. Are past credit problems keeping you up at night? Don't be scared. My For the People credit approval process is a treat, and our friendly, non-commissioned sales staff can help you get the nicer, newer car you want at a price and payment that fits your budget. Keeping the car you have? Let us get it ready for fall in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes, buy 3, get 1 free on all tires, or call ahead and set up your free winter-ready inspection. It's the Shocktober sales event, only in Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith is now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery for both lunch and dinner, 7 days a week. TGI Fridays is taking your safety seriously, following every guideline. Enjoy Fridays favorites like appetizers, burgers, sandwiches, salads, all the great Fridays, signature entrees, kids meals, and great desserts. TGI Fridays, now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery. Call 479-484-0906. That's 484-0906. Or order online at Fridays.com. Your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 in Rogers and Fort Smith.
Did you know that you can get your car serviced or repaired without ever leaving your house? All you have to do is call Jody's Auto Service Center at 479-649-3399. Jody's will pick up your vehicle, service or repair it for you, and return it fully disinfected to your driveway. Pickup and deliveries.
Month of October, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax. That's right, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax for the month of October.
We also offer in-store no-credit check financing, delivery service, and service after the sale. At Frankfurt Furniture, we are family-owned, and we pride ourselves in carrying as many made-in-the-USA products as possible.
Remember, in October, no sales tax at Frankfurt Furniture, your made-in-the-USA headquarters. Frankfurt Furniture, best seats in the house.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
This is Pastor Heath from Woodland. I know some of these ads make you glad, but most probably make you mad. The reason is people believe the lie that heals is better than the truth that hurts. Our purpose at Woodland is to risk the hurt by exposing the lies so you can be wise unto salvation. If you'd like to know more, check out our website, woodlandpeople.church. There you can download our app and listen to our podcast. That's woodlandpeople.church.
GMC, exit 11 off I-540 in Fort Smith.
You can be the hero of the office. Just go to hitthatline.com and enter to win the Hardee's Lunch Bunch contest. Every week, one lucky listener wins lunch from your local Hardee's restaurant for up to 15 people at your job site or workplace. It's easy to sign up. Just click on the Hardee's Lunch Bunch contest button, give us your information, and you're entered just like that. Every Thursday, we announce a winner during halftime. Win free lunch for all your work buddies. The Hardee's Lunch Bunch from Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com.
ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Crabb.
Jones on the carry, cutting it back, and Jones on the loose. Jones on the move, turbo time, touchdown.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from Tuning.
Arkansas is going to need to get to KJ Costello on Saturday night to have some success on defense. And I know that he's going to get the ball out quickly, but if you get into situations where you make a play on first and second, third and long, you got to be able to apply pressure. You got to be able to land home. Get to KJ Costello. And we'll get to this conversation coming up. It's also going to be important for Arkansas to protect Felipe Franks on the other end. And we are brought to you this morning by Burton Pools and Spas.
Yeah, you've mentioned a couple of times the crisp fall weather that is out there and how the season is definitely changing. You can feel it in the air. No better time to enjoy a hot spring spa from Burton Pools and Spas than right now. And Burton's has hot tubs starting as low as $28.95. All their great prices, all their low prices include delivery, cover, and startup chemicals. So it's a great way to reduce stress, to sleep better at night, take you a little soak in your hot tub before you go to bed, to start your day out that way. It relieves muscle pain. It's a stress reliever. It is really a great addition to your backyard oasis. Stop by Burton Pools and Spas, Springdale, and in Fort Smith, or look online at burtonpools.com and find out about hot spring spas starting at $28.95. Burton Pools and Spas, they are your source for backyard fun.
So Mississippi State, we'll start with protecting Franks. Mississippi State was able to get 4 sacks on Miles Brennan in third down of the LSU game. Now, I will say this. The Arkansas offensive line wasn't able to get a push running the football, but Felipe was only sacked, twice in that football game, Tommy? If I remember that correctly?
I believe.
Was it just
he
once?
got one, and then KJ had one.
And I keep
There's
saying
2 total.
I keep saying that 2 total overall
right
for the quarterbacks, which honestly that's not bad. You take that every single day. Now, Felipe was hit a few times in that football game, but that's going to happen in the SEC. The push wasn't there from the rushing standpoint, though. You're going to have to throw these guys around like some rag dolls on Saturday. Get Rakeem going. You could see the visible frustration on Rakeem Boyd's face during the Georgia game because he just didn't have anywhere to go. And that has got to be aggravating, as talented as he is, when you're not given any work to do what you do. And he didn't get any on Saturday. You're going to be able to have more success against Mississippi State running the football. And hopefully you'll see a performance like Raleigh Williams had in 2016 on the road against the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
And you got to be better on first down. I'm going to look through here. I'll have this answer in a little bit, kind of what your average second down was in this game. We know Arkansas was not good enough on third down conversions in the ball game. What were they, 3 of 14? You got to be better on first down so you're not putting yourself in that position on third down where you're third and long, third and medium. You got to be better on first and second down. And it starts with having positive yards, not having penalties to start out first and 15. Arkansas's got to be in a better spot on second down this week.
Got a text out of the 479 saying, I've been listening to y'all's commentary about the Mississippi State game. I haven't really heard anyone mention LSU replaced their entire offense, and they replaced some defensive stars as well. They're a brand-new team, and I expect Arkansas to compete and possibly win. He has Barry Odom above Bo Pelini. Yeah, Bo Pelini, interesting to see him in his first game back as the LSU defensive coordinator. Just looked lost in that football game. Mike Leach toyed with him the majority of that game. I think Barry Odom, you saw the success he had against Georgia, which, albeit I think Mississippi State has a better offense, but you're at least excited about some signs. And again, I've talked with you all about this at LSU, and I feel like I wash, rinse, repeat when it comes to talking about the LSU Tigers. You lose Joe Brady, passing game coordinator. You lose Dave Aranda, new Baylor head coach. You lose maybe the best single-season quarterback in the history of college football in Joe Burrow. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, first-round draft pick, the only running back taken off the board to the Kansas City Chiefs. Jamar Chase just opted out this season. You lose Justin Jefferson, now a Minnesota Viking. You lose a ton of that offensive line. They either lost 3 or 4 starters from that unit, who was, by the way, Tommy, the Joe Moore Award winner, the best offensive line in college football. Then you go on the defensive side of the football. You lose Fulton. You lose Grant Delpit. Derek Stingley Jr. wasn't playing this last game. You lose Michael Divinity. You lose Patrick Green. They lost everyone from last year. Everyone. So Mississippi State toyed with them on Saturday, and Mike Leach had a field day with that defense. Going back to the phone lines, 877-377-6963. Going back to the land of the Golden Arrows, where Carl and Lavaca is patiently waiting. Carl, you are on the morning rush, man.
Hey, guys. Regarding the text from the 479 number, I totally agree. That was one of the things I was going to say. LSU lost, not taking any credit away from Mississippi State. They obviously went into Baton Rouge, played very well, came out with a W, but they lost, I think, 17, 18 starters from last year's team, had 2 opt-outs. Derek Stingley was in the hospital with a non-COVID-related injury. It's 1 starter from last year's team, so it's a brand-new team. However, for Saturday, the last thing I really ever want to do with a team like Mississippi State that runs the air raid is, if this were to be the case, get in a shootout. I think their linebackers are their strength. Their secondary is very young, so I think we might be able to do a little bit on the offensive side of the football. Hopefully we can establish the run that'll open things up for Felipe, and once that happens, we can maybe see more how our offense is, how dynamic it could be. On the defensive side of the ball, I think I don't think we need to play conservative. I think we need to try to get after Costello, make him uncomfortable, try to make him, get out of the pocket and make some throws he's not used to making before. But I think Rakeem Boyd is the X factor for Saturday. He is a big game. It's going to help our entire team in general, with him being a leader and with him being arguably the best part on our team. And Dorian Gerald getting back healthy is another big thing. I heard he's day-to-day, but I'm pumped for Saturday. I really don't know what to expect. I expect our offense to play a lot better. Our defense will struggle a little bit more, but all in all, I think this is definitely more winnable game than Georgia. Obviously, I think everyone knows that, but I just hope the Hogs to see some improvement from the Hogs, put up a good fight, and they'll go down there to Mississippi State and get embarrassed like we have the last 2 years. So that's all I got for today. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate the call, Carl. Mississippi State was able to get 7 sacks on LSU this past ball game. You can't have that against the Arkansas Razorbacks. Arkansas's offensive line can't give up that amount of sacks. One of the things you have to be encouraged about this upcoming week, Carl brought up Dorian Gerald potentially being day-to-day as a guy that was really wrecking some havoc up there on the front line against Georgia. You hope to have him back. Tommy, you also get Mateo Soli back, and this is one of Clay. Clay's written a piece or two about him, the connection with his father, Junior Soli, who's a former Arkansas Razorback. Mateo out of Georgia, really excited to have him as a legacy on campus. This is a guy that started last year, played with the club last year for the majority of the season, and one of your premier defensive linemen that you're excited to have back on Saturday.
Yeah, you just need the depth. It'll help in special teams. It'll obviously help in just your ability to defend at the line of scrimmage. So Arkansas is not a team that can afford the loss of any players right now. And you hope that all of the testing that went on yesterday, the more that will go on today as part of the SEC protocol, won't wipe out and take some players away from you this week.
Exactly. And speaking of Mateo Soli coming back, you also got a couple other players that are coming back. Jarquez McQuillian, Devin Bush, Malik Chavis, and I believe there's one other defensive back that I may be missing when it comes to this conversation. Those guys are important because we talked about how Mississippi State's going to spread you out. They're going to play all this run and gun, go, pass spread offense where they're going to try and take advantage of you from a defensive back standpoint. And Mike Leach is a mastermind when it comes to picking the matchup he likes and taking advantage of it. You need to hope that KJ Costello has a bad outing on Saturday, and you need as much depth as possible back there. You loved what you saw from Jalen Catalan. You loved what you saw from Monteric Brown. There was probably another guy or two that you enjoyed. Miles Slusher was the one that picked up that fumble recovery. Jerry Jacobs was another guy that you saw play on Saturday. You need to continue to see this secondary improve, and they're going to get a quick punch in the face on Saturday night when they take on a lethal passing attack that Mike Leach implores.
I still think your offense, sustaining drives and being on the field, is your best defense this week, and they just figured it up real quickly. Arkansas, on average, had 23 second downs in the ball game. Their average was second and 8.4. So they averaged over the game, obviously, a yard and a half on first down. There's got to be a lot better this week.
Oh, man. Carl Lavaca just texted in. He says Jarquez McClellan can't guard a parked car. So he's not huge confident in what he can do on that. That's good math over there. We multitask. We can do a variety of things here on the Morning Rush.
Second and 9 was the average in the first half. Second and 7.8 yards in the second. So got to be better.
Is that bad? I think
that's not good.
That's not good. So it doesn't help when you're getting a lot of 3-and-outs either. It is a Recruiting Thursday brought to you by Breeden RV. And speaking of recruiting, we are going to bring on Richard Davenport in about 10 minutes or so. Get your thoughts, get your takes. That's next, hour number 3.
At Toyota, today's the day to score a great deal on Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Highlander, Tundra, and more. That means today's the day to take a ride in your thrilling new Camry. Today's the day to scale new heights in your powerful new RAV4 Hybrid. Or maybe today's the day to turn heads in your stylish new Corolla. Today's the day to feel invincible gripping the wheel of your rugged new 4Runner. Today's the perfect day to tackle a new outdoor project in your tough new Tundra. Today might even be the day to go as far as the road will take you with the epic range of your new Highlander Hybrid. Today's the day to save on all your favorites like the Toyota Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Highlander, Tundra, and more. But hurry, this offer ends soon. Head into your Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. Participating dealers only. Event ends November 2nd.
It's hot tub season at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. Burton's has everything you need with hot tubs starting at $28.95, including delivery, cover, and startup chemicals. Hot tubs are great for reducing stress, easing muscle pain, and helping you get a better night's sleep. Plus, find end-of-season deals on pool accessories, big green eggs, and outdoor living furniture at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith and online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
If you have experience transporting frozen and refrigerated goods and want to be part of a trucking family with insurance and be home every week, you need to contact Brent Higgins Trucking. Since 1997, Brent Higgins Trucking in Mulberry has been proudly delivering to and from various areas of the United States, including but not limited to Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Brent Higgins Trucking, where you're a name, not a number. Contact them at 479-997-2366 or at BrentHigginsTrucking.com.
River City Bistro is Fort Smith's favorite place for lunch and dinner. Open 7 days a week, both on the open-air patio and air-conditioned dining room for your safety and comfort. River City Bistro is locally owned and open weekdays 11 to 8, Saturdays 10 to 8, and Sundays 10 till 3. Want River City Bistro curbside to go? Just search on Facebook or Instagram for River City Bistro or go to rcbistro.com. River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands like Michelin and BF Goodrich. Take advantage of our $29.95 oil change, which includes a 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality Michelin and BF Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
Come see what's new at the Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. In stock now, irons from TaylorMade, Mizuno, along with new woods and irons from Callaway. Also in stock, the RTX Zip Core wedges and Spider putters. The Golf Nut carries a great line of shoes, apparel, and accessories for your everyday golfing needs. As always, check Facebook for our daily specials. Work on your game in our indoor simulation base, or play a round of golf on great courses like Pebble Beach or Bethpage Black. The Golf Nut, Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994.
Randall Ford is excited to announce their state-of-the-art mobile service van, stocked with all the latest tools and technology needed to service your vehicle. Everything from oil changes, warranty repair, battery, software updates, brake jobs, and so much more. All is done with your convenience and safety in mind. We'll come to your office or home to provide professional service the Randall Ford way. Stop by today at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue, or check us out online 24/7. RandallFord.com. Ford, the #1 selling brand in America.
Braden RV's 2020 blowout sale was a huge success, and now they need more trailers. Due to the massive shortage in good, clean, pre-owned RVs, they will pay top dollar for your RV. So if you don't get to use your RV as much as you like, don't worry. Braden RV's here to buy it, or they can even consign it for you. They also have the newest models from Thor, Forest River, Coachman, and many more arriving daily. They can take care of you on your service needs, and for the month of September, get 10% off all parts and accessories. The best camping weather is just around the corner, so stop by Braden RV on Alma Highway in Van Buren and start living your best life today. See dealer for details.
Is your Arkansas home at least 10 years old and served by OG&E? OG&E is offering Arkansas customers a no-cost-to-you program to increase your comfort and lower your bills. A trained crew will perform an energy audit at no cost to you, and if your home qualifies, their crews will install measures that can include attic insulation, LED light bulbs, weather stripping, advanced power strips, smoke alarms, carbon monoxide detectors, and much more. The services provided through this program are at no cost to you for qualifying homes. If you or someone you know could benefit from home weatherization improvements, call OG&E today at 800-272-9741. That's 800-272-9741.
Evans Body Shop wants you to know that we are here for you. During this uncertain time, let us take the wheel and get your car repaired so you are ready to roll when the time comes. We offer pickup and delivery and will sanitize your vehicle during your complimentary detail that is done with all repairs. Don't want to get out at all? We have you covered. We offer a mobile estimating tool that allows you to take a few pictures, and we will email or text your estimate directly to you. Check out our website or Facebook for more details.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Lots of blue sky, lots of sunshine today. Our high this afternoon in the upper 60s to low 70s. Mainly clear sky tonight, and overnight low in the low to mid 40s. Back to sunshine Friday. Our high in the upper 60s, and Saturday there is a chance of a few showers across the north. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Hey, it's Zach Ards. Make sure to tune in to Ruskin and Zach every weekday afternoon from 3 to 7 on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
You're listening to The Morning Rush live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3 KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
You're causing a major disturbance on my time.
If I'm here and you're here, doesn't that make it our time?
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station. Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
There's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there ain't but one razorback. Number one.
This is The Morning Rush.
Borderline erotic.
With Ty Richardson.
Sunshine. That's cool. I can dig it.
And Tommy Kraft.
Do I look happy?
What's wrong?
Lloyd!
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Hour number 3 of The Morning Rush, whether you're listening on the radio, whether you're listening on our video stream, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, on the TuneIn app, on Hit That Line, we really appreciate it. We're going to have Richard Davenport coming up on shortly on The Morning Rush, and it is a Recruiting Thursday, and it's brought to you by Breen RV between Van Buren and Alma on Alma Highway. Y'all, the camping weather is here. It is a beautiful, brisk day outside. It's going to be the same way this weekend, so take advantage. Head over to Breen RV and get a new RV, whether it's Coachman, whether it's Thor, whether it's Forest River. They have new inventory arriving daily, and Ransom and his crew are going to make a fantastic deal for you. So shop the inventory online at BreenRV.com and then come by and see him and his team at Breen RV between Van Buren and Alma on Alma Highway. Breen RV, where your adventures begin. Got an interesting text from David in Fort Smith, Tommy. Do you know where the term upset originates from?
I do not.
I don't either, but apparently David does.
So,
he says,
I know this, if you lose to a team you're not supposed to lose to, you're going to be upset.
That's an excellent
that would be my best guess I got for you this morning without looking anything up.
Here's what David in Fort Smith texted in. He says an unbeaten and presumed unbeatable horse named Manowar had a 1v1 matchup against a horse that they thought had no chance, and the horse beat Manowar. His name was Upset. The moral of the story is anything can happen. Go Hogs beat Mississippi State.
Go Hogs beat Manowar.
Well, Mike Leach did teach a war class, if we remember that correctly, from Washington State. So maybe there is a better connection in the story than we realize. So, all right, let's get into your Hog update.
Arkansas football
It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush.
As Tom mentioned earlier, Bob Holt asked Mike Leach about, hey, the conversations with Arkansas, what went down, what happened during that. Here was Leach's response. I have the utmost respect for the University of Arkansas. Any conversations that we may have had are between us, and that's all I have to say about that.
Good answer. That's exactly how a professional should handle that answer. Because you want to get a call the next time that you might be looking for a job. So
it's the way to do it.
Yep.
So, this isn't necessarily Arkansas quarter. I guess I can tie it in with the Razorbacks with Ken Hatfield being on the College Football Playoff Committee. Larry Scott, who is the Pac-12 commissioner, requested that the College Football Playoff Committee be expanded to 8 teams. That has been denied.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you'd have to redo a TV setup, and I'm sure that could be done in a timely manner. But just because you started your season late, shortened season, you haven't been a factor to regular season very often, doesn't mean they should change the rules just to get your conference included. And that's essentially, he's wanting to move the goal line. He's wanting to move the finish line to aid his conference. That's his job as the commissioner, but not going to fly.
Arkansas will be donning the away white Darren McFadden-era uniforms for the first time on Saturday night against Mississippi State. I know a lot of people are really excited about this. A clean, retro kind of new look, a combination of both, and we'll see if they can get it done in the first game in those. Because if they win, then it's going to be because of the uniforms. If they lose, it's going to be because of the uniforms.
I just like the fact that they're clean and the numbers are easy to figure out who's got what number on. I love the fact that college football got rid of that gradient number. Mm-hmm. How terrible that was.
Yeah,
so.
No, I agree. All right, let's bring in Richard Davenport here on a Recruiting Thursday. Before we do that.
Yeah, that Hog Update brought to you by former Razorback Brett Good and the team at Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions. Call Brett today. He can help you with all your employee benefit needs, health insurance, staffing management solutions, commercial and personal insurance needs, group insurance needs. Brett does everything involving insurance. So give him a call today. That's Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions. Brett Good, former Razorback. Call him directly, 479-651-2292. He'll visit with you about all your insurance needs. That's 479-651-2292 for Brett Good with Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions.
Richard, another piece of the Hog Update is TQ Jackson was his waiver was approved for SMU, that he's immediately eligible. Just kind of what can you tell us what happened with why he decided to transfer, and then just I don't know if you know about just the timeline of him getting immediately eligible.
I think some people were in his head about playing time, and it was kind of a weird deal. Initially Arkansas was definitely fighting to try to keep him, and then afterwards it just seemed like that he was determined to leave. So that's pretty much what I gather in a nutshell. But as far as the waiver, I don't know much about it. It seems like just because of the COVID situation, it seems like they're approving more waivers to keep from having such a big roster for schools the next year. I guess that's just something off the top of my head.
And if you have a question for Richard at any point this morning on a Recruiting Thursday, it's 877-377-6963. Richard, why I bring him up first is because I wonder, just from what you gathered from the different coaches on that staff, how much more time are they spending legitimately recruiting their own kids who are already on campus to stay at the university compared to previous years of the past?
I don't think that they really have to do that. From what I understand and talking to, people, the kids, and obviously sometimes kids will say all the right things, but if you talk to the right people, you really kind of know what they think, and they love this staff. I don't know if you really have to do much recruiting to keep them on board because of just some of the things that I've heard. I mean, I've heard awesome the word awesome all the time. One parent saying that their kid can't stop talking about the staff. So whatever they're doing very well, and it's just, I would assume it's just being genuine with them and letting them know that that they're going to make them the best football player they can, and love them at the same time. That's pretty much it from what I can gather.
Week 5 of the high school football season scheduled for tomorrow night. Who has stood out to you so far? I know teams have been scrambling to find games, complete schedules. Last week had a rash of games canceled and moved. What's your takeaways as we now kind of enter the halfway point of high school football in this weird, odd year?
Yeah, it is. It's definitely weird because you don't know if teams are going to be playing from one week to the next because what's
one day to the next
obviously going on. Yeah, exactly. One kid that's kind of came out of nowhere somewhat is Frederick O'Donnell from North Little Rock.
Mm-hmm.
He's in 4 games he's gone over 100 yards, and he finally got his first offer I think yesterday from UAPB. He's about 6'2", about 210 pounds, very physical running back that I think is probably going to can continue to add offers as more film gets out on him. I haven't seen him play in person. I've seen video, but one of the guys that, for us that covered one of their games said the guy's definitely D1. So who knows what could happen with him? But I mean, he is extremely physical, just bounces off of defenders. But man, I tweet out a lot of stats each week and trying to remember some of the guys that kind of stood out. Cam Turner from Blytheville has really been putting up some good numbers. He's kind of a quarterback / athlete that I think is getting some attention from schools. But trying to think of some other guys, but no one off the top of my head just yet.
You mentioned O'Donnell and North Little Rock. They've got a game later on in the year, a few weeks away with Bryant. Are they I guess everyone would assume they're the biggest threat to ending Bryant's winning streak right now. I guess that'd be accurate.
Yeah, and I wouldn't dismiss Bentonville.
Well, that'd be in the playoffs, though. But I mean, in the regular season, it'd have to be.
Regular season.
Yeah.
Regular season. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are the 3 teams everybody's looking at. The 3 we've kind of mentioned here. So.
Yeah. I tend to think you gotta keep you gotta stay with Bryant just from the standpoint they've done it 2 consecutive years and they're rolling right now. They beat Trinity Christian from Dallas, and from what I understand, it probably wouldn't have been close if it wasn't for turnovers. So right now, I think you have to, if you're placing bets, probably go with Bryant. But at the same time, though, you can't obviously discount North Little Rock.
You mentioned Bentonville real quick before we move on to maybe some other stuff, but they've quietly kind of re-pieced together a schedule after losing some games early with some out-of-state teams, then picking up another out-of-state team, and they've had some impressive wins through the non-conference portion as we kind of settle into conference play here. Yeah,
they beat the defending state champs from Kansas, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So that was a big win, and they just been impressive. And all their victories, and they got a sophomore running back, Josh Ficklin, that is very impressive too. He's a kid to keep an eye on. About 5'10", about 195 to 200 pounds, and good burst, a good physical runner. So, as a matter of fact, I wrote about him. I had some of the top 23 sophomore prospects in the state in Tuesday's column, and I included him as a guy to keep an eye on as far as being a college prospect.
Richard, when it comes to game week, and I know that coaches have so many things they have to focus on, whether it's the opponent, what their unit is doing this week, how much time relative to game planning do these coaches spend recruiting during the week?
More probably than any other staff. Definitely Morse's staff increased the hours. I don't have an exact number of hours, but I would imagine there's several hours each day that's devoted to recruiting. I was talking to another Power 5 coach that is at one of the top tier programs, and he was saying how much that they spent, anywhere from 2 to 4 hours a day or something like that, even during the season, working on recruiting. And I think that's something that obviously you got to do. I mean, you not only are you obviously focused on the seniors, but you're also developing relationships with the juniors and sophomores and freshmen. Some freshmen that are already identified as potential prospects, and obviously that makes it more complicated when you're reaching out to the sophomores and freshmen, because you have to work through one of the coaches of that staff, of that high school staff, to have that kid communicate with you through through phone calls and calling the coach. So it takes a good bit of amount of time, and it has to, because that's obviously the future of your program.
What'd you think of Game 1? We talk a lot of recruiting, but obviously you're watching the games. You have an opinion. What did you think of the Arkansas-Georgia game?
I didn't verbalize a score or post a score on any board or anything like that. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking 34-13. So it was about what I expected, and I think we mentioned last week. You wanted them to be competitive. They were competitive. They didn't get embarrassed. They just didn't lay down and just totally dominated. Obviously, Georgia took over late in the second half and kind of had their way a little bit, but you saw a team that fought, and you saw some hope, and you just hope that obviously that's the best defense that they'll face, because obviously that was a top tier defense, and if Arkansas can score some points and get some time for the defense to sit on the bench and get some rest, I think they can do some damage. I mean, obviously, I don't think that they're going to have a great season or anything like that, but I think they could, show themselves well.
What do you think happens this Saturday night?
I know usually, fans like to go off, or a lot of people like to go off the first game or two and come to a conclusion on teams. I usually like to wait until about week 3 or 4. We don't know how good these teams are. Obviously, LSU, last year was one of the best teams in NCAA history, in my opinion. There was no way they were going to be as good as they were last year. And we don't know how good how good LSU is. We don't know how good Mississippi State is. But you will say that obviously what Mississippi State did on Saturday is pretty much a Mike Leach coached team. They're going to throw the ball a ton and put up big numbers. I think obviously we'll still see this Saturday how good Arkansas is and how good Mississippi State is a little bit more, and then we'll be able to figure out, I think, by week 3 or 4, where everybody stands.
RD, before we let you go, do you want to toss out a prediction on the game Saturday night?
I'll because it's on the road. Even though it's a reduced crowd and everything, and the confidence level that I'm sure that Mississippi State has right now, I think you got to go with them till Arkansas starts winning a few games. It's hard to pick them, but I'd probably go 35-27, Mississippi State.
How about the second half?
Let's better hope, but that's after the fourth quarter.
Life's too short to bet the under, Richard. Appreciate you always hopping on with us, man.
All right, guys. Take care.
Richard.
Yeah, life is always too short to bet the under, especially when Mississippi State is playing in Mike Leach.
Yeah, it's certainly got the potential to have one that's what do you say? The Vegas over-under, was it 69? I think is what it came out earlier this week.
Is that what it was?
I think so.
I should be bad.
We were guessing around 70.
I'm supposed to be the gambling guy of the show.
You're the gambling degenerate.
Yeah.
So
it's
going to take a lot of points. First one to 50 wins. Might be one of those deals, but appreciate Richard joining us here on a Recruiting Thursday. Brought to you in part by NWA Gold and Silver, Bentonville, Fayetteville, and in Fort Smith. If you have gold or silver coins, you've got silver flatware, broken, worn-out jewelry that you'd like to turn into cash or do something else with. Hey, I want a big screen TV I want a new TV, 75-inch TV for football season. Take that jewelry that your wife's not wearing anymore, that jewelry that's out of style, and you're not going to have it made into anything new for jewelry, and take advantage of the high prices of gold right now. We're talking $1,700 an ounce for gold. Silver's at a high right now. Why not turn it into cash? Maybe what you have in a safety deposit box or a gun safe is worth a lot more than you even realize. So if you haven't paid attention to market prices on gold or silver, now is a great time to cash those items in and put cash in your hand with the people that pay the most. That's NWA Gold and Silver, 1130 North Walton in Bentonville, Nelson's Crossing by Jason's Deli in Fayetteville, and they're on Rogers Avenue right above Central Mall in Fort Smith. That's NWA Gold and Silver, Bentonville, Fayetteville, and in Fort Smith.
To Richard's point, we've been talking about expectations this morning for Saturday night's game against the Mississippi State Bulldogs. I'd like someone to call or text us and tell you why Arkansas is going to win this football game. If you truly believe the Razorbacks are going to come out on top on Saturday night against Mike Leach, why do you think that? It's 877-377-6963. If you genuinely believe that. I don't want to hear crickets on this radio program. I want to see why you actually think Arkansas has a chance to win that football game. I can list out a couple things. Arkansas's running game is going to pick up. It's not going to do what it did against Georgia. You saw some positive signs on defense. I think you saw a chemistry and a connection between Traylon Burks and Rakeem Boyd, which could be established, and especially in that football game. And the clock doesn't strike twice on 12.
Huh?
KJ Costello is not going to have that good of a game against Arkansas. He's just not. That was out. I mean, you've said that multiple times this week. I've said that multiple times this week. Now, he may have a really good game, but it's not going to be 600 and something passing yards, 623 or 632, whatever it was. It's just not going to be that.
First text in from Sooner fan Brian in Muldrow. Hogs have zero chance.
Hot start. Listen.
Thanks, Brian.
Rod says he's got nothing, so not a lot of positives this morning. Listen, y'all are Razorback fans. You're supposed to believe in anything and everything. So someone should be able to pick up their cell phone, pick up their home phone, pick up their flip phone, and call in at 877-377-6963 and tell me and Tommy and the world why you think Arkansas is going to get it done. All we ever hear about is how positive we are about the Razorbacks, and I know it hadn't been of late about how much this team is going to turn around under Pittman. Well, that could start then with that thinking on Saturday night. I hope we don't have crickets this next break when people call in.
So line them up during the break. We're about to step aside. We'll take your calls on this on the other side. Getting a lot of text, but we want to hear you call.
Call in and voice it with your beautiful, illustrious voice. This comes from Rashad in North Little Rock. He said, Arkansas will win because Mississippi State's defense is not Georgia's defense. Listen, that's a start, Rashad. I appreciate that. They're not Georgia's defense. They weren't number one in scoring this past season. They weren't number one in rushing defense this past season. There are positives that you can take away during this football game.
We got 3 or 4 calls already lined up here, so stand by. We'll hear some positive thoughts on the other side of the break.
I need some positive thoughts on the other side of the break. Again, it's 877-377-6963. Line them up. Bring them up. I want to hear your opinion on this matter. And one of the reasons you might be able to get them is getting to the quarterback. We'll get to that next. Stay with us, folks. This is The Morning Rush.
This is Recruiting Thursday on The Morning Rush, brought to you by Breeden RV, where your adventures begin.
Yes, sir!
At Toyota, today's the day to score a great deal on Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Highlander, Tundra, and more. That means today's the day to take a ride in your thrilling new Camry. Today's the day to scale new heights in your powerful new RAV4 Hybrid. Or maybe today's the day to turn heads in your stylish new Corolla. Today's the day to feel invincible gripping the wheel of your rugged new 4Runner. Today's the perfect day to tackle a new outdoor project in your tough new Tundra. Today might even be the day to go as far as the road will take you with the epic range of your new Highlander Hybrid. Today's the day to save on all your favorites like the Toyota Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Highlander, Tundra, and more. But hurry.
For the month of October, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax. That's right, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax for the month of October.
We also offer in-store no-credit check financing, delivery service, and service after the sale. At Frankfurt Furniture, we are family-owned, and we pride ourselves in carrying as many made-in-the-USA products as possible.
Remember, in October, no sales tax at Frankfurt Furniture, your made-in-the-USA headquarters. Frankfurt Furniture, best seats in the house.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
This is Pastor Heath from Woodland. I know some of these ads make you glad, but most probably make you mad. The reason is people believe the lie that heals is better than the truth that hurts. Our purpose at Woodland is to risk the hurt by exposing the lies so you can be wise unto salvation. If you'd like to know more, check out our website, woodlandpeople.church. There you can download our app and listen to our podcast. That's woodlandpeople.church.
Ben will give you an awesome price on a new Chevrolet, but we're not done giving you more. Included with any new vehicle sold, or Chevy will also give you a lifetime powertrain warranty, 2 years of free maintenance, and free car washes for life. So come get a lower price and more money for your trade today at Orr Chevrolet on Auto Park Drive in Fort Smith and 24/7 at OrChevyFS.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You always get more at Orr.
Are your real estate investments being properly managed? Are you sending a check or cashing a check each month? If you're tired of your current property managers, then call Trinity Multifamily. Trinity will qualify your tenants and leases, inspect your properties, and take care of maintenance and provide you with web-based access to current financial reports, leases, and pictures of your property. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Introducing Budweiser Zero. 0% alcohol, 0 grams of sugar. Full Budweiser flavor. For all the moments you want a beer and need to stay on your game. Budweiser Zero. 0 alcohol, 0 compromise.
River City Bistro is Fort Smith's favorite place for lunch and dinner. Open 7 days a week, both on the open-air patio and air-conditioned dining room for your safety and comfort. River City Bistro is locally owned and open weekdays 11 to 8, Saturdays 10 to 8, and Sundays 10 till 3. Want River City Bistro curbside to go? Just search on Facebook or Instagram for River City Bistro or go to rcbistro.com. River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you are an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC has over 200 pre-owned vehicles to choose from luxury to economy and everything in between, including over 50 great vehicles with payments under $250 a month, certain to fit your needs and your budget. And at Harry Robinson Buick GMC, you always get more for your trade. 50 vehicles with payments under $250 a month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Say goodbye. Darren McFadden, 80 yards, touchdown.
I'm going to try this call-in number.
Call or text The Morning Rush at 877-377-6963.
My first official call-in.
Your call is your text at 877-377-6963. If you think Arkansas is going to win on Saturday night, tell me why. Tell Tommy why. Call in. I want to hear it. I want to hear your dead honest opinion on why that's going to happen. If you're not watching the game at your house on Saturday, you want to go out to eat, I'll tell you a great place to go. That is Joe's Grill and Cantina.
I can tell you a great reason to go, not only the great food, but half-price appetizers, half-price beers on tap to watch the Hogs and Mississippi State Saturday night. Every Hog game, they'll have it on TV for you. You can get a front-row seat with TVs all around the restaurant, and all of their appetizers, the brisket nachos, the sampler platter. We love the Mexican pizza, the 7-layer dip. All of their appetizers, half price during the game, and all the beers on tap are half price as well. So get there early at Joe's Grill and Cantina and get ready to watch the Hogs and the Dogs on Saturday night at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Half price apps and taps. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
First, I want to welcome in Cade and Springdale to the conversation. Cade, why do you think that Arkansas is going to beat Mississippi State on Saturday night?
Hey, guys. First-time caller here. I'm going to tell you why I think they could beat Mississippi State Saturday night. I grew up in West Texas, and I don't know if we've thought about the connection between Mike Leach and Kendall Briles. I actually grew up playing baseball against Kendall Briles back in the day. He was actually a better baseball player than he was a football player. His dad was the running backs coach at Texas Tech under Mike Leach. And I'm just wondering if there's an advantage there with Kendall Briles this week as they're planning with the defense, maybe that we haven't thought about. There's a deep history of Art Briles getting much of his offensive training and thoughts from Mike Leach already, and then surely that's where Kendall gets a lot of his thinking. And I think that may give us an advantage that some people aren't talking about down the road this week over other teams. What do you guys think? And I can hang up and just listen.
Kate, appreciate your call. Love those long-time listeners, first-time callers. That's my favorite phrase in the history of sports radio. I would say to your point about his father Art and Kendall, anytime you have a competitive advantage or a connection with a former coach, specifically the head coach, that helps. Tommy, to what extent? I don't know the correct answer for that, but let's be honest about this. So the connection we just saw this past game with Sam Pittman and Kirby Smart and that offensive unit.
A much more recent connection.
I would say that was clearly helpful for Barry Odom's defense. Is that a stretch for me to say that? I mean, for 39 minutes, you held that team in check. And the only reason you really, and I hate to say let the floodgates open, but I mean, because it was really the offense that just didn't provide anything. You had a safety and a pick six, so 9 of those points were not the defense's fault whatsoever. Yeah. I mean, I would say that you saw an advantage from Saturday's game, specifically, not 4 days ago or five, whatever.
Good start with Cade on why Arkansas will beat. We want to hear why they will beat, not can beat. So let's go to Josh in Memphis, Tennessee, and see if we can take it to the next level here. Josh, why will Arkansas beat Mississippi State?
Good morning, y'all. How y'all doing this morning?
Man, we are great.
How things in Memphis?
Okay. Memphis, yes. Listen to y'all via YouTube.
Yeah.
All right, so this game reminds me a lot of the year when Arkansas went down to TCU and beat them. All week long we heard that TCU was going to throw for 600, 700 yards on them. Arkansas couldn't run the football the week before. They went down there. They established the run. The defense had a great game plan. I think that you're going to see that on Saturday. I think Barry Odom is a smart enough defense coordinator to mix up his coverages, and he's telling his guys, look, we're going to give up yards. Do not give up the great big plays because we can let them go down the field and kick field goals. I think that's what's going to happen. The game's going to be a hard-fought game, but I think Arkansas is going to edge it out in the end.
Okay. So just better defensive planning is why Arkansas is going to win.
Well, it's you know this, that offense has got to get going. And I think they're going to emphasize, y'all, we're going to get that running game going. Rakeem, Traylon Smith, maybe even Felipe Franks running out of the backfield is going to open things up for the passing game. And I just think they're going to be clicking a whole lot better. They're going to clean up the mistakes, and it's going to be a much better game. And we're going to find out how good Mississippi State is this week and Arkansas.
All right. Josh,
good call.
Yeah, before we let you go, man, best barbecue in Memphis, go.
I like Central Barbecue.
Central's fantastic. Are you a wings guy there? That's what I got last time.
I love the smoked wings, but I got to be honest, their ribs are my favorite.
Their ribs are great. Josh appreciate the call this morning. And again, as Josh mentioned, we are on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So even if you're not in Arkansas, you can listen to us. And if you miss any of the show, make sure you subscribe to the Hit That Line Podcast Network, where you can listen to us, Halftime, Primetime Preps, Fantasy Football Sunday, Ruskin and Zach, and Hog Reaction. So,
what are some of the best texts we got on this subject? We got about 45 seconds here, so let's not try another call. What are some of the texts?
Put me on the spot. Matt from Birdtown saying that State is not Georgia. Georgia has better offense, defense, special teams, and if Georgia beat us by 28, we should whoop Mississippi State's butt.
All right.
Jimbo and Hackett has the text of the win right now. He says the Hogs will win if Ty would watch Rocky.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about that.
See, exactly, yeah.
So it's all on you, Ty.
But we can't do that because if we tell him to watch it,
I don't like being
he's
told
being
what to
stubborn.
do.
So he doesn't want the Hogs to win.
I'll try and listen. I'll do my darndest to watch it on Friday night if that satisfies.
Well, you
the
do
masses.
your darndest. That'll
I'll
be
do my
great.
darndest.
You do your darndest. We're brought to you by World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474. They have the all-new Playmaker Tailgater unit. What is this? It's the easy-to-use, simple to set up, portable satellite system that can power as many as 2 TVs at once. So if you're headed back to Deer Camp this weekend, you've got a lake home, you've got a second cabin that you spend some time on the weekends. Don't pay an extra cable bill, an extra satellite bill for those places. With a Tailgater unit, you can find a way to reduce your bill and be able to take TV to your tailgate, to take it to Deer Camp, to take it anywhere you want to go. 877-305-DISH. Call World of Wireless. They have them in stock right now for this weekend at World of Wireless.
Want to continue on this conversation? Call in, text in. Why do you think the Hogs are going to win?
We're trying to outwork everybody in recruiting.
This is Recruiting Thursday on the Morning Rush, brought to you by Breeden RV, where your adventures begin.
At any of the Clay Maxey companies, it's just an easy, customer-centered experience. We wanted to make it a one-stop shop, so we added Kawasaki and Can-Am and Hustler and Worldline. It's really been a nice add for us. We provide full service. We're doing pickup and delivery. We were able to add the Vexus line, which is a premier bass boat line. We want to make it easy. We want you to visit us at any of the Clay Maxey companies. Clay Maxey Ford and Harrison, Berryville, Motorsports, Marine, or Clay Maxey NWA.
This is Brett Good, former Razorback and Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers. Everyone loves to be on a winning team. That is why I have joined Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions. Henderson Phillips can help you tackle all your employee benefit, health insurance, and staffing management solutions. Plus, I can help you with any commercial or personal insurance need. Come join my team at Henderson Phillips. Call me, Brett Good, at 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292.
If you have experience transporting frozen and refrigerated goods and want to be part of a trucking family with insurance and be home every week, you need to contact Brent Higgins Trucking. Since 1997, Brent Higgins Trucking in Mulberry has been proudly delivering to and from various areas of the United States, including but not limited to Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Brent Higgins Trucking, where you're a name, not a number. Contact them at 479-997-2366 or at BrentHigginsTrucking.com.
The new Michelin silicone plates last through everything.
On a world record-breaking drive from Alaska to South America in unpredictable conditions.
Thunderstorms, ice storms, they just don't quit.
Rainier Zeitlo chose Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades with advanced Quad-Tech 4-layer coated silicone that repels water, snow, and ice and lasts 2 times longer than other blades.
It's coming down in sheets.
Real world proven. Extreme weather wiping performance. Upgrade to Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades today. Only at Walmart.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources. I'm shocked it's October already. This year's gone by so fast it's scary. Now I'm afraid I'm not going to hit my goals. So I'm rolling out my most shocking deals yet. It's my Shocktober sales event. Swap your current car for one of our Rath Road Ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center, and priced to save you money. So dump that pumpkin that's haunting your driveway. Trade and save on a nicer, newer car today. Are past credit problems keeping you up at night? Don't be scared. My For the People credit approval process is a treat, and our friendly, non-commissioned sales staff can help you get the nicer, newer car you want at a price and payment that fits your budget. Keeping the car you have? Let us get it ready for fall in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes, buy 3, get 1 free on all tires, or call ahead and set up your free winter-ready inspection. It's the Shocktober sales event, only in Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith is now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery for both lunch and dinner, 7 days a week. TGI Fridays is taking your safety seriously, following every guideline. Enjoy Fridays favorites like appetizers, burgers, sandwiches, salads, all the great Fridays, signature entrees, kids meals, and great desserts. TGI Fridays, now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery. Call 479-484-0906. That's 484-0906. Or order online at Fridays.com. Your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Divorce is never easy. Many times problems continue to arise long after the divorce is over. If you're dealing with a high conflict custody or visitation issue, you need an attorney that handles those specific type of cases. Call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partners for immediate assistance with your situation. Kevin Hickey Law Partners, able to handle high conflict custody cases all over the state of Arkansas and other states. Check out kevinhickeylaw.com or call 479-434-2414 in Fort Smith and 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
Did you know that you can get your car serviced or repaired without ever leaving your house? All you have to do is call Jody's Auto Service Center at 479-649-3399. Jody's will pick up your vehicle, service or repair it for you, and return it fully disinfected to your driveway. Pickup and delivery is free for jobs $75 or more. Jobs less than $75 can be picked up and returned for a $10 fee. Let Jody's Auto Service Centers handle all your service and vehicle repair needs. Call 479-649-3399. Jody's Auto Service Center.
ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Jones has some real estate ahead of him. Felix Jones telling everyone to look at his shoe bottoms. Touchdown, Razorbacks.
Streaming live at hitthatline.com.
Got some terrible news to share that we just found out last segment. The Titans-Pittsburgh Steelers game has been postponed because a few Titans players contracted COVID. I think 2 staff members as well.
Now, they were talking about putting this on Monday, maybe Tuesday, but now they're postponing this even further into the season. So this is a surprise that the game's not going off this week, but they're, Monday or Tuesday looks to be out too.
And why this is bad, not only for Phil Ellison as a diehard Steelers fan, but for me, it's because one of my best players in fantasy football is Juju Smith-Schuster, and he will not be participating this week. So I'm already 0-3 to start the season, and now I'm about to be 0-4.
Who is on your bench that you could put in?
I just put in Curtis Samuel, former Ohio State Buckeye. So I don't know. And DJ Chark is out. So there's some bad news, and I'm getting texts from the buddy that I'm competing with this week, Jenkins. He's sending me a bunch of hot dog texts. And for those who have not heard the fantasy football punishment for our league, the loser of our league has to eat 76 hot dogs over the course of a week. 76. We added that up. It's about 11 a day.
Do you like hot dogs?
I love hot dogs, but I don't know if I like 76 hot dogs over the course of a week. So
make some trades.
10.
Do some dealing. Wheeling and dealing.
10 one day and 11 another for 7 straight days. And if you fail, you have to do it again the next week.
Correct. And if I fail that, I'm kicked out of the league. So we do have a league member that's already put on the line that if he loses, that he will remove himself from the league. So there's a lot of pressure. as far
He's
as
not
that
even going to
goes.
try.
So he knows he's going to do it, but he's also going to remove himself from the league. So that's what I'm having to deal with this morning at 8:42 on a Thursday.
I'd be trading or something.
Yeah, I know.
You got to make some moves.
Got to make some moves. You would think a guy that has his own fantasy football show that listens to experts every single week would actually use that
Wait.
knowledge. to
If you
his
have your
advantage.
own show, that means you are one of the experts.
I would not qualify as one of the experts, that's for sure. It is a recruiting Thursday. I'm talking about some bad news I got on my end. Well, the good news is it's camping weather, y'all, and y'all can take advantage of that by heading over to Breeden RV. They need your trailers, they need your RVs, and they're going to pay top dollar for you. Plus, they can consign it for you, and they have all the newest models, whether it's Thor, whether it's Coachman, whether it's Forest River. They have them, and they are arriving daily. The best camping weather, it's not around the corner. It is here. So head over to Breeden RV between Van Buren and Alma on Alma Highway. Breeden RV, start living your best life today. So, conversation I want to get to eventually. Is there ever a sports debate that you've had over the past where using violence is okay? And we'll get to that coming up. But we do have a ton of tests that we just got in on the recent conversation of what happens or why do you think Arkansas can win the game? This is a text out of the 870. Tommy says, I made a resolution not to watch the Hogs until they win a game. He would be surprised if that happens on Saturday.
What do you do? I mean, you watch other games?
You listen? He probably listens.
You listen? I would love to know how you're passing the time. That is intriguing to me.
Another text out of the 870 says, the Hogs running game will be better this week. We will get some defensive players back. Hogs by 10. That's a good point. You're getting some defensive players back, and Rakeem Boyd's actually going to have some running lanes to go through.
Yeah, well, you got to have more than 77 yards probably on these guys. So,
yeah.
State, on the ground.
State has come. This is a text out of the 479. Mississippi State is coming off such a high from beating LSU that they are going to look right over us. Hogs by 10. Another Hogs by 10. That's also a good point. I mean, you just beat the defending national champion. Even if there isn't a major letdown, there's going to be a little bit of a letdown in this football game.
Yeah. Let me give you maybe a reason here. Looking at the Mississippi State depth chart, Martin Emerson, 6'2", 195 at one corner. Isaiah Ferge.
That sounds right.
Is that good enough? Isaiah Ferge. If I just say it like that, you'll believe me. 6 foot 185. You think you can get some mismatches there? I think perhaps. Free safety's 5'10". Now, the strong safety, this guy, I can tell you right now, he bad. He ain't going to beat this guy. You seen this guy? 6 foot, 200, London Kraft. You're not no chance with that guy. With a name like that, no way.
Looks like London Crawford back in the day. So, I hopefully you'll be.
So
able
maybe I'm just saying their tallest starting member of their secondary is 6'2". Perhaps some mismatches you could pick on, take advantage of.
I'd hope so.
You're looking for reasons to win. There's your one.
Adam from Win texting, he says the Hogs are going to get it done because it's just time that the Pittman era gets started in the right direction. I would say the Pittman era in the offseason's gotten started in the right direction, but now the in-season Pittman era needs to get started in the right direction.
Yep. And I liked his response last week. Hey, we're in the winning business here. And, he wasn't wanting to hear how you played well for 2 quarters.
Jason and Harrison text in reminding Brian and Muldrow, who are talking about Arkansas losing this week.
Big Sooner fan, Brian.
He said, Jason says to remind Brian that they're not playing Kansas State this weekend.
It's true. Kansas State isn't on the schedule.
Yeah.
So
tough outlook for that. All right, so that's gonna tie a bow on that conversation. Your calls, your texts, all the rest of this show, 877-377-6963, because I want to get your opinion on when it comes to debating about anything, whether it's sports, whether it's religion, whether it's politics. Is there ever a point when violence is okay? And I say that with tongue firmly planted in cheek. I'm saying this sarcastically, facetiously, but there was a report that a little fight escalated between the suspect Justin Garcia and the victim, which they were arguing about which milk is better, almond milk, whole milk. Which one is better? Now I've started
chocolate milk.
Yeah, chocolate milk wins. I would agree.
Give me chocolate milk.
We don't have
for
to
the win.
argue on that. But I've just started drinking almond milk because it's healthier, and it's been unsweetened. It's this vanilla flavor. It's fantastic. Apparently the victim tried to run from Garcia, and Garcia chased him around the front yard. And allegedly, Garcia allegedly caught up with the victim and swiped at the victim with a pocket knife on his torso.
Wow!
And caused a small
This
cut.
has to be Dateline Tuscaloosa, Alabama, right?
It's a Florida man, apparently.
Florida.
Oh, yeah, of course it was.
Of course,
So,
a Florida man.
Wherever Lehigh Acres is. I have no idea. But is there ever a sports debate, 877-377-6963, where it is okay to pursue violence if someone disagrees with you?
This seems like something that no one north of the age of 25 would ever involve themselves in, but when you start taking liquid courage throughout the course of a contest,
very true.
You know, you start thinking you're a little taller and you're a little more bulletproof than you actually are. So I would say there was probably some liquid courage involved in this activity.
I would probably say so. Here are the ones I listed down.
And it wasn't milk.
If anyone ever says that DMAC didn't deserve a Heisman, that's one I'd turn violent against. Florida won the 2009 game fair and square without the officials' help. That's one I have down.
Okay.
Cam Newton played at Auburn for free. That's another one I have written down. Pizza is overrated. It's another one I have written down.
No.
And the NFL is better than college football, which is grossly off. That's not true. College football is better than the NFL. Those are the 5 I wrote down that I would turn violent if someone continued to pester me about those 5.
You are such an easy mark on the DMAC conversation.
Really are.
Yeah, he's a Little guy. Can't help it. Feel different.
So that one is an easy one. If you want to get under Ty's skin, if you run into him, if you can break through the security entourage that is always surrounding him and actually irritate Ty, just bring that argument up. You know, I think McFadden's a top 5 player to ever play here, and he will just go bananas.
Best
bananas, you know.
Or that he deserves the statue.
Or you know, that he doesn't.
He
didn't,
right, he doesn't deserve
actually didn't win a championship or anything here. Then Ty will just go nuts on that.
It's a conversation that would come to blows. So for you guys,
or tell him that Little Caesars pizza is really not that good, you know.
I can get on board with that. But
or Eureka Pizza, or he'll go crazy. You know.
What would be y'all's word? And I listen again. I want to bring this back up. This is a joke. This would not actually be something that I would fight someone over. We're just kind of like this is something that you're passionate about. If you want to call or text in, it's 877-377-6963. Tommy, we'll let you go first. What would be an argument or debate and we'll keep it within the confines of sports?
It would have to be something along the lines, and if we're going to keep it kind of in football, that you were trying to really, have to be like a really obnoxious Ole Miss or Mississippi State fan, or right now, and listen, the Missouri rivalry really doesn't exist. It's something that Jeff Long, way back when, wanted to make you believe was real, but it's kind of like the Tooth Fairy. It's just simply not real. Is Arkansas and Missouri are rivals? But if someone was trying to convince me and they were adamant and they were in my face about the fact that Missouri has a better football program than Arkansas.
Yeah.
You'd lose it?
I think we'd have to have it come to blows. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's a good one.
Now, this recent argument of Arkansas State is the best football program in Arkansas, I just can't get that worked up about it because there's just no foundation for the argument.
And they
may have the better team right now, but they don't have the better program.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, that's the correct answer.
I'm not going to argue over something that, just really has no foundation.
Brett and Spyro texts in. He says, if you wear Texas Longhorn gear. I'd say that's fair. I'd say
there's, we all are guilty of passing someone in an LSU shirt, a Texas shirt, maybe an Alabama shirt in Walmart or the grocery store or wherever you're at shopping. You're going down the aisle and they aren't, and you see them, and you automatically deduct. How many IQ points do you deduct? 25, 50?
At least, yeah.
30, 40 IQ points gone.
Ole Miss goes
Clearly,
down 100.
this person is a moron based on their LSU T-shirt they got on.
I'd be lying if I said I haven't been in Dallas, Texas before, and someone's walked in down that burnt orange, and I didn't say a word.
75-point deduction.
There's a finger that typically I can't help it. It automatically pops
reflex.
Up. Yeah, it's a reflex. I can't help it. All right, real quick, we're gonna go to the phone lines and welcome in Dennis, who's in Stoneville, Mississippi. Dennis, what's the one sports argument that it's okay to go to blows over?
That's Senatobia, Mississippi, but that's okay. The reason I think Arkansas will win this ball game is simply when you look at the schedule at the first of the year, naturally we didn't think it was all going to be conference games, but after you got the conference games only, you look at your schedule, and as a fan, you try to figure out which games we think we can win. And I think every one of us will think Mississippi State and Ole Miss as possibilities, maybe Missouri. But if we're thinking that, do you not think the football team would be thinking that also? And with us not having a running game against a real good defense, you know, we went down there and beat them when they had Prescott, and I think you would say he's a real good quarterback. And we beat them with Prescott down there, so I think we can still win with the confidence of going in and thinking you can win instead of knowing that you're probably going to lose the ball game unless something just dramatic happens.
I think that's the way you got to approach it. Dennis, appreciate the call this morning. You mentioned the Dak Prescott game. That was the number one team in the country back in 2014, 17-10. Brooks Ellis had an interception in that game. Brandon Allen had a chance to win, or excuse me, not win, but tie/win at the end of that one. Unfortunately, threw a pick on, I believe, a 3rd and goal play.
Left front corner of the end zone, if I remember right.
Exactly right. And it was to Demetrius Wilson, I believe, if I'm recalling that correctly. So you've had a good competition. Dennis, you're behind enemy lines right now. Keep wearing that Razorback Red.
God bless you, sir.
Yes, appreciate it. Keep being loud and proud, and make sure you chirp at some of your Starkville and Mississippi State neighbors if you win on Saturday night. For Matt Jenkins and Tommy Kraft, I am Ty Richardson. Clay Henry joins us tomorrow on The Morning Rush.
It's hot tub season at Burton